All right, gentlemen, welcome to day two. Today two is going to be a bit more information thrown at y'all. So ask questions. Today we're going to be going over formations. We'll be going over movement versus maneuver, routes, halts. All that good stuff. Also going to be going over map reading and using your micro dagger and the beauty of that device. So both of y'all have water, beer, piece of paper, pen, pencil to write notes on, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sergeant.
Excellent. All right, let's get the classroom shit out of the way. We're gonna go over and micro dagger. So I want you to follow me to Fly Sergeant. I just wanted to get kitted out with a micro dagger and make sure you have a map, and we'll get to the classroom. All right?
Yes, Sergeant.
Follow me. Right in there.
Do you want us to grab map tools and or compass as well?
No, just a map and a micro dagger. All right, follow me to the classroom. All right. So, if y'all open up your map, you have vertical and horizontal lines on it, which makes up a grid. The vertical is called the northing, and the horizontal are called easting. All right, so keeping your map open, if you scroll all the way out, so if you're back scrolling, the grid that you see there is 10,000 meters squared. So you only have a 2-digit grid. You got a single digit on top and bottom, and a single digit left and right. So you 2-digit grid right there. It's 10,000 meters in a grid. That's really doesn't help us for shit. Now, if we scroll in to where a 2-digit turns into a 4-digit, you'll see 2 digits top, bottom, left, and right. Now, this is semi-useful. Be useful if you are giving a briefing and you're trying to get everybody's attention to a specific spot on a map. A 4-digit grid will suffice. Now, a 4-digit grid, each square is 1,000 meters squared. Now, if we keep on scrolling in, we get to a 6-digit grid. 6-digit will give us 100 meters squared. 99% of the time, this is what we're going to be dealing with, a 6-digit grid. It's close enough or accurate enough for us to locate each other within 100 meters square. Now, the way you read out a grid ref is left to right, bottom to top. So let's focus on, we got a couple of gas stations to the northeast of the runway, right above Battalion HQ and whatnot. Y'all have eyes on?
Yes,
Roger.
sir.
All right. So let's focus on the right one, since the left one is kind of a cheat. So if we wanted to give the 6-digit grid ref for this gas station, we would call out that it is, remember, we'll go left to right, bottom to top. So it's going to be 157-174. That's the grid this gas station is in. This whole grid. Y'all track on that?
Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, Sergeant.
All right. So, yep, you need to give a 6-digit grid in a certain location, left to right, bottom to top. We can go down lower than 6-digit, but that's something your squad leader can show you later on when you get billeted. But I'm sure you can figure it out, because we're going from 10,000 to 1,000 down to 100. So if we did figure out an 8-digit grid, it would be 10 meters square. But that is on your squad leader once you get billeted. All right. All right, so we got a bunch of colors on the map. Some are pretty straightforward. Obviously, gray is man-made features, buildings and such. Blue, water. Brown is relief features, elevation, so that is like contour lines. Green is vegetation with military significance. You can see the difference on a map, the brighter colored green. Red is railroads, but missing from that, red also is contour lines. You have red and brown contour lines. Black is power lines and or grid lines. Remember, if you happen to be a helicopter pilot, power lines are not our friends, or your friends. Next is a thick orange line. That is your MSR, or main supply route. That is your paved roads. Remember, if you call out an MSR, don't say main MSR. Just say MSR, because that's redundant. That you're saying main supply route.
Right.
medium thick yellow lawns is going to be your upkept dirt roads. They're semi flat, but obviously nicer. And then, excuse me, that's going to be your ASRs or alternate supply route. Lastly, you have some hollowed looking lawns. They're a little hard to see on the map, but those are your quote unquote country back roads. You know, the dirt ruts with some grass in the middle and grass on the sides, but you got the dirt rut, the wheel tracks in the mud. That's what that is. All pretty much common sense stuff here. All right. So we're gonna get to contour lines here, gentlemen. Let's look at the map. Let's look at grid ref 1018. It has most of all of that. Y'all have eyes on?
Yes, sir.
Roger.
All right. All right, so you have contour lawns. These lawns, you got red, you got brown. These lawns are showing you how the terrain is flowing. Guess that would be the best way to word it. But it shows you how the ground is laying. So you can tell that your mountains or your hilltops, and the land is falling and spreading out, obviously, from the top. This right here would be a saddle, where I'm going through right here. I'm going to show you all of that in a moment. But the squiggly lines, that is contour lines, and that is actually showing you how the land is on a map. So let's get into different parts of this contour lawn. So we're going to start with a hilltop here. Let's just stay focused on hill 182 right here. So that by itself is a hill. Now, obviously, it's just not a single hill, it's multiple hilltops, which in turn make up a ridgeline. But right now, we're just picking out this hilltop. Now, depending on where you're at, what you're doing, hilltops can be useful for getting eyes out, a quick recon on your AO, or even the rest of your route. You know, your route may push through multiple terrain features, and from your current position down low, you might not be able to see the rest of it. So taking a high ground to kind of seeing what you're faced with is not always a bad thing. So this is a hilltop. Now just remember, they can see us just as well as we can see them. So if you're goofy enough to walk up to the top of a hilltop and stand or even fucking kneel, you're going to be seen. It's called skylining. They can see you from a good 1,000 meters away. You know, your dark silhouette against a fucking whitish blue backdrop. Yeah, you stick out like a fucking sore thumb. So don't do it. If you need to use a hilltop and look on the other side, go prone and fucking crawl to it. is going to be a ridge. So this is where it is. It looks. Your ridge line kind of flows like so. Now, a ridge line is good in multiple ways. One way is if you were traveling, let's say you were traveling this way. You being on that side of the ridge line masks your movement from the north side. Now you want to stay up high on a ridge line, not so high as at your skyline, but high enough that you give yourself the option to get on the other side of the ridge line if you take fire. So let's just say, shits and giggles, you take fire from the south and you're moving in that southwest direction. You now have an option because you're so high up on that ridge line that you can cross over and get on the backside of earthen defilade and return fire. But primary use of that is you keeping a fairly high ground and masking your movements from the enemy. Now, what you don't want to do is use the halfway point to move. You know, say that's your movement direction is that yellow line. You don't want to be halfway at the fucking valley and the ridge line. Because right now you have no options. You're fucking stuck in the middle. Can't go up because you're on a fucking hillside, which means you're not going to go up without possibly going to a fucking walking pace. So that's not quick. Plus you're turning your back to the enemy. So the only chance is to really dig in somewheres. Hopefully there's some kind of hard cover and return fire and overpower the enemy. So if you're going to use the high ground, make sure you're, you know, up high. So you can have that option to jump to the other side. That is your ridge line. Get to the next one. All right, next is a saddle. Saddle is the low area between two hilltops. So if you're looking at hilltop slash mountain range, you'll see, I'm going to show you, draw it out. So if you're looking at it, standing on the ground, you know, or even most of the times you'll see, you know, mountain ranges kind of go like that, and your peaks are way up here, and it drops down, and then you come back up to your next peak. The slow area here, that is your saddle. So the way that looks would be right here, even though it's only a few meters below, but still it's a saddle. You can see because you have excuse me, you know, you have that contour line and that contour line coming together. So this is kind of a saddle. So not the best ridge line to show you that, but still, I'm sure you can get the picture. So it's a low area between two hilltops. That is a good feature. A saddle, because it usually has another terrain feature involved with it, which we'll go over in a minute. But the beauty of a saddle is if you had to move from one side and cross over to the other side, you know, would you want to cross over the highest part or would you want to cross over the lowest part? So that's the beauty of a saddle, is it saves you a bit of PT when you are moving your guys from, say, like a low area to another low area, but having to cross a ridge line. All right, next one is a valley. So, wait, I got attempted to draw a fucking blue line here. So right up in here, this is a valley. You know, valley. Obviously, valleys are kind of the more lowest, trying to fucking use English here. It's the flattest and usually the lowest terrain per se. It's the easiest to travel because it's flattest. It's usually with some kind of paved slash makeshift type road that's kind of well kept, so travel is quick. Usually you're going to be in some kind of convoy in this valley. Now, just remember that a valley is prime real estate for creating an ambush, not only from us, but from the enemy. So if you find yourself in a fucking valley, whether you be in the Vic or on foot, keep it moving. You want to have at least as short halts as possible. So you want to get from point A to point B with the quickness. Now, if you do happen to find yourself in a valley, not only do you want to get from A to B, but you want to keep eyes out everywhere, covering your sector. But you want to look and keep an eye out for different areas that you can dive into if the shit hits the fan. Usually being in a valley, you don't have, you know, the best places to run and hide to return fire. So keeping yourself with options is a good thing. All right, next is a draw. So I told you that there is another terrain feature that goes well with a saddle, and that is a draw. This here is a draw. It's a hell of a draw. And you can see that it actually went to a saddle. You know, this is a draw going down to that one. This is a draw going down to here. And then this is roads actually built in a fucking draw. This is a draw. That's a draw. You see, most of the time, they're going to a saddle. You know, this is a draw here going to a saddle. And it also takes you down to that draw. So draws are great to use when you want to get from low ground to high ground, or high ground to low ground, or crossing a ridgeline, or even a hilltop. You want to use a fucking draw. It offers some protection from your flanks, Even more so if you're not spotted while pushing in the draw. It will offer, depending on how deep the draw is, it will offer some visible protection. It will conceal your movement. So I would suggest using a draw because it's usually sunken into the earth going up and down slope like so. It beats going over here where you're now on the face of the hilltop or the mount ridgeline, you know. Everything you do is going to be, you know, done to give yourself a fighting chance. All right, next is a depression. So depression is low ground surrounded by high ground. So right here is great depiction of a depression. You got high ground encircling low ground. So that would be a depression right here. That's not somewhere as you want to be. Not really somewhere as anybody would want to be in a combat situation. Obviously, your tactical fighter sense should be going crazy if you find yourself in that type of situation. You don't want to be in that situation because now you're in what they call a kill box and you're surrounded by elevated positions all the way around you, and it could be very bad if the enemy was aware of your direction of travel and, you know, way you might be going. So if they knew you were going to be traveling through this way, they could really fuck us. So keep your mind and keep your eyes out for a terrain feature like that. It's few and far between, but still not some ways you want to be. All right, we are going to take a field trip to the northwest of the map. Right here, it's going to be in grid 0422. Circling it right now. That is the best I can give you for a cliff. The contour lines here are super packed. I mean, it's even you zooming out and you zoom in, it's just fucking ridiculous how tight the contour lines are packed. So that's telling you from here to down to the shoreline is very, 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 very steep terrain. Not only is it steep, but it is littered with fucking rock outcrops. Some of them nose are pretty steep themselves with fucking crevices, so if you fall or something, you fall in one of those, chances are you might not be able to get out. So keep your eyes out for this. This is like Mother Nature's fucking blockade. So if you find this terrain feature on one of your flanks or your back, just remember you have nowhere to go in that direction. Not only is the movement going to be severely slow, you might not make it far. You have, you know, now terrain feature that's chances are will kill you besides the enemy. So you don't need that. So keep in mind when you have a cliff to like a flank or your back, you know, say if you're going east or you're moving west, you'll, you know, this is not an escape route anymore. And obviously the same thing applies to the enemy. You know, you can back them up into or onto a cliff there, and, you know, they have nowhere to go. So every possible terrain feature that we have for us that's beneficial can be beneficial for them, and we can use it against them also. So it's really basic. You'll get used to looking at maps, reading them, understanding where you want to go when planning and making routes. But until then, y'all have a question, comment, and or concern about what I just went over?
I'm good, Sergeant.
I'm good as well, Sergeant.
Excellent. All right. So both y'all picked up a micro dagger. If you press H, you will see the micro dagger pop up in your bottom left screen, correct?
Yes,
Great,
sir.
Sergeant.
Excellent. Let me put that little doohickey up on here. So, micro dagger is a great little tool. Not only gives you end-game time, it also gives you your 6-digit grid ref that you are physically standing in. It gives you your cardinal direction and your bearing in which you are facing. Now, it's what your body is facing. You can free look all you want, hold an alt and left to right. It's not going to change the bearing or cardinal direction on your micro dagger. So keep that in mind. So you actually have to turn your entire body in order to make the bearing and cardinal direction change on your micro dagger. But still, all in all, it's a great piece of equipment. It shows you where you and the rest of your squad is, not only your fire team, but your whole squad. So me not knowing where my fucking battle buddy is, or him not knowing where I'm at, that's bullshit. You know, this isn't fucking, you know, as recent as fucking Desert Storm and shit, where they didn't really have this. It's fairly new technology. But we have it here, so not knowing what the fuck your battle buddy is not an excuse. I'm not saying you gotta fucking stare at the micro dagger the entire time. It's good just to glance. Don't use it as a crutch. You want to keep that situational awareness. You know, get certain bearings. You know you're getting attacked from the northeast. You know, you don't have to, you know, keep looking at your micro dagger. You know, okay, northeast, that's that hilltop over there. So I gotta, you know, when I see it, keep an eye on that terrain feature. You know that terrain feature is northeast, and to the right of that or whatever, that's where will be possible contact. So you don't have to constantly look at your micro dagger. Another beauty thing of it is it gives you, like I said, your bearing and your cardinal direction. We got a thing, it's called a contact report and a spot report. So write these two down. A spot report and a contact report are, let's say, the information you give is going to be the same, but there's two different functionalities. A spot report is when you are not in contact. You can underline not. A spot report is when you are not in contact. A contact report is when you are in contact. Definition of contact is when you are being actively engaged by the enemy. That is contact. If you're fucking prone on a fucking ridge line and there's a enemy squad on patrol passing by with no idea that you're there, that is not a contact report. That would be a spot report. Spot reports used for when you are not in contact, so you can spot enemies, you can spot a fucking civilian. Like I said, spot report and a contact report, the information will be basically the same. For both of those, you're going to give out the description, direction, and distance. Say it again. Description, direction, distance. It does not have to be in that exact order, but preferably all three get called down or called up. Now, if you run with your microdagger open, like I do, right then and there, you got your 2 out of the 3 Ds right there. You already have the description because you got eyes on. You got the direction because you have your microdagger open. All you got to do is look down. Okay, they're fucking Baron 037. So the only thing you have to do is get a distance. You know, it's a lot easier than pressing K and bringing your compass up and letting it orientate itself. So if you can, I would get used to running with it up. At least gives you a quicker reaction time to reports being called up. We can actually blow this up on the screen, and we can use semi-interact with it. So if we hit Control H, the microdagger will get bigger on the screen. But you will see that coming off your body or your little GPS blip, that's how it all works, is by, you know, you sending your little GPS blip and everybody else's GPS is fucking receiving where your location is. That's how it is.
Sort of.
But off of your little icon, you can see a yellow line with an arrow, and it wants to follow your mouse cursor around. And inside the picture-in-picture in the darker color screen, you'll see the numbers start moving. Well, where that tip of the arrow, the tip of that yellow arrow, it gives you the grid coordinates where the tip of that arrow is. It gives you the distance or the elevation difference between you and that arrow. It gives you the distance from you to that arrow tip. And no matter the direction you are looking, it gives you the cardinal direction and bearing in which you physically would have to travel to get to where that arrow point is located. So right now, I'm facing northeast 037, but I can put my arrow off to my left, bearing 293 northwest, 0.29 kilometers. So right there, it's telling me I have to travel 293 degrees and roughly 290 meters to get where the end of that arrow is pointing. So it's a lot of useful information there. So you'll notice that the distance between you and the arrow tip is marked down in kilometers. It's easy enough to just translate from kilometers to meters. So you can go down to the closest, which is 0.01 kilometers from the arrow tip to you. So that would be 10 meters. The furthest you can go is obviously as far as the map is, but the furthest you can go before you actually go 1,000 meters, which would be 1 kilometer or 1.00, would be 0.99 kilometers. That translated into meters would be 990 meters. Y'all tracking?
Yes, Sergeant.
Excellent. So you use it, kind of give out, you know, ranges to stuff. Don't call it in, you know, don't say 0.60 kilometers. Just say
600 meters.
Exactly. Or 600 meters, correct. So yep, it's a pretty nifty piece of equipment, but do not abuse it per se. Don't get so dumb with it that you lose situational awareness. You know, find landmarks, different things, you know, get yourself oriented, you know, okay, that's north, that's south, east, west, and it'll help you in the long run. You have any questions, comments, and or concerns about what I just went over with the micro dagger, gentlemen?
No, Sergeant.
OPFOR markings?
Well, I can put it down. Squad leaders and higher can put down markings on the micro dagger with blue 4 and OPFOR markings. I'll show you some here. Let's take a look at the 2 gas stations. Actually, let's look at the Y intersection. So I can put us down. Let's see. What is that? That's east. Enemy. Let's see. I could put down armor, patrol, east. So there you go. So right there, that's a red 4 marker that was just put down. You got the time is 0902, but we use that as the marker number. So we would say, you know, red 4 marker 0902 and grid 157174. That is the symbol for an armor piece, and that you'll see the arrow is facing to the right. So that's telling us that that armor piece was last spotted at that Y intersection, and it's heading east on that MSR. Now, it's not accurate to where, okay, well, that's where that, you know, armor piece is, because they show it moving, but we can put this singular and we can put stationary. So if it has no kind of marker to it, it's stationary. That would be a blue 4 marker. That is HQ. Let's see. You would have enemy salute. Let's see, infantry. Put a squad. They are moving west. Fuck's west, northeast. There we go. So there you go. That's a squad. That shows that it's moving west. So yeah, y'all can't put them on there, but you'll see these pop up quite a bit in a operation. That answer your question, Private Ringrose?
Yes, Sergeant. It was more a case of do the squad leaders, are they normally the ones who
Private
put them?
Ringrose.
Yes, Sergeant.
Did that answer your question?
Apologies, my voice must have cut out. Yes, it does. Is it normally the squad leaders who are putting down these markers as well, or do they normally just leave it to the air assets?
We try to. Usually shit's happening so quick that it's hard to. If you find like stationary stuff, it's easier to do that, but like squads moving and all that, usually you're trying to get your men, online and trying to gauge that target, and by the time all that's happened, you go and put it on there and it's got to come right back off because that squad that you're engaging and that you marked is now fucking dead. So there's no point in keeping that marker on. So most of the times we'll get it from the UAV operator or even Thunder, but yeah, sometimes squad leaders will put marks on the map or microdagger. Any other question?
None from me, Sergeant.
Excellent. All right. Well, that is everything for the classroom. So we're going to go over now is going to be formations. These are formations that we're going to use for movement when we're traveling in some kind of, obviously, formation, and we are traveling from point A to point B using a route. So y'all can get up out your seats. Let's make our way over to the supply sergeant, and I'll dictate what kits I want each of y'all to carry. All right. All right. So, which one of y'all are feeling the need to possibly team lead today? Well, not possibly, but definitely team lead today.
I'm happy to team lead if need be.
Excellent. All right, Private Ringrose, grab a team leader's loadout. Private Lake, I want you to grab an AR auto rifleman loadout. Get your full kit, vectors, radio, and meet me outside to the left by the flags, gentlemen.
Team lead loadout being what exactly? The fire team leader?
Correct.
Which one would be the AR loadout, Sergeant?
How do you have them labeled? It should
I
say
have recruit GRN, recruit SAW, recruit RFL.
RFL is rifleman.
Beat the saw, SAW,
is
squad
it?
automatic weapon.
All right, is that how y'all label it now?
Oh, it's supposed to be automatic rifleman, but
All right, yeah, grab this SAW. Yep. Make sure you are conditioned for bags and boxes or pouch. Stowed away. All right. Getting a pre-combat formation. So what is that? That is what we do when we have a training environment, for the most part. Lately, we've been doing it in deployment, which contradicts everything I've been teaching for the last year and a half, but whatever. So PCCs, pre-combat checks, pre-combat formation. So that means your squad's going to get into formation. You're going to have your fire team leader up front, followed by the auto rifleman, next the grenadier, lastly the rifleman. You see how y'all two are right next to each other? That's how it would look all the way back. Now, since Private Ringrose is alpha team lead right now, Private Lake, you need to get behind him. There you go. Yep, you want to get right up on him. There you go. And what it would look like would be like so. You know, say I would be the other team lead, and Sergeant McCoy was the other AR. And just imagine that there was another two people behind both our files. The mic will be next to you, Private Ringrose, and our squad leader will be in formation, standing in front of us. So that is your pre-combat formation. When you get in that formation, make sure you go and whisper. If you don't know how to do that, it's going to be Control Tab. You'll see a guy, looks like he's picking his nose in the bottom right corner. That is the whisper. Just imagine fucking 40 plus motherfuckers on a server, all tightly packed in a hangar, doing pre-combat checks and formations, all in yelling. It'd be chaos. So we go and whisper, so we don't disturb everybody else, and we can do our shit that we need to. Now, first thing you want to do is change your GPS color. That is self-interact on it. It's going to be under team management. So you're going to hit Control and Windows, team management, red, green, blue, and yellow. Red is Alpha, blue is Bravo. So that's the first thing you want to do. You want to change your color. If you're in Alpha, you go red. If you're in Bravo fire team, you go blue. So you're changing your color on your GPS so that when you do look on your GPS, everybody you see in red is in your fire team. Everybody you see in blue is Bravo's fire team. Next, you want to start setting your radios. Start programming your radios. Do any of y'all two not remember how to program your radio from Tuesday?
I'm all good, Sergeant.
I'm all good as well, Sergeant.
All right. Now remember, Private Lake, you are, in this circumstance, you're going to be the second in charge of your fire team. So you're going to have squad frequency programmed and saved as channel 2, but you're just going to go back to channel 1. So you have it, you know, most of the work done already. It's already programmed and saved as channel 2. But you're not technically allowed to monitor it. That is why you cannot change that C2 to an A2 until your team lead goes down. But obviously Alpha needs to have his primary and secondary channel programmed and saved. Now, once everybody has their radio set, the entire fire team needs to do comms checks with each other. You know, everybody doesn't have to check with everybody in the team. As long as you get one good comms check, you're good. What I like for or to happen is the fire team leader go down the line and do his checks with everybody. It ensures that everybody has good communications, and obviously it gives the fire team leader a peace of mind that he knows firsthand that his entire team is green with comms. So let's get that section out of the way. So I want y'all to get a radio check taken care of. And once you finish that with the team radio check, I want you to check in on SquadNet, Private Ring Rose. Keep this in mind. You are now going to refer to yourself as Alpha. Whenever you're in that team lead position, your calling station is Alpha. My calling station is Actual.
I have to go grab a radio, Sergeant. I think grab one from
Go
him.
grab it.
Just a strange question for you. With our kits, if we know it's not going to be a night op, do we have permission to chuck our NVS in the equipment box, or do we just keep it on us anyways?
No, you can. That's your prerogative.
I keep them on me anyway. Just fucking never know.
Yep.
But definitely always check your micro dagger, your watch, and make sure you know, because there's certain times of the day that look pretty similar. And if you don't check, you end up fucking, the sun will go down and you thought it was morning, you thought it was like 0800, but it was actually 1600. And before you know it, it's 1900 and you can't see shit.
And you're up shit creek without a paddle.
Oh yeah, I've had it happen to me once before, and it was fucking terrible. Embarrassing and terrible.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's definitely embarrassing. And then, you're pretty much out of the fight, like you're not going to have any fun. You're pretty much just a fucking ammo donkey at that point.
If you can find the rest of the people in your squad.
Yeah.
Just because you have a micro dagger, when you can't see shit in front of you, you don't know how the terrain is. Alright. So make sure your comms are set up.
Private Lake,
Alpha.
Private Ring Rose requesting radio check 100.1 over.
Remember your Alpha, brother.
Private Ring Rose is Private Lake. Loud and clear. Over.
So do I only refer to myself as Alpha on SquadNet or on TeamNet as well?
On all radios, that is now your calling station.
That is your calling station. You have lost your identity and you're now Alpha.
Do I refer to myself as Alpha too?
Negative. No. Just your team lead.
Private Lake, this is Alpha Lima Charlie out.
Nope. Pretty sure that's not what I said again and again and again.
I'm definitely sure that's not what you said again and again, sir.
On Tuesday.
So would I refer to the team leader as Alpha?
That is correct.
Alpha, this is Private Lake. Radio check. Over.
Nope. What are you radio checking? Starts with F.
Alpha, this is Private Lake. Radio check. Frequency 100.1. Over.
Private Lake, this is Alpha, read you loud and clear 100.1 over.
Alpha, this is Private Lake. Roger, out.
There it is.
I'll take it, even though I wanted Alpha to initiate it, but I'll take it.
Yeah, just if I can add real quick, it is really important that you have the frequency in your radio check, because a lot of people, starting with Fire Team Leader, are going to be monitoring multiple frequencies, and you need to be clear about which frequency you're transmitting on, because it can get confusing, especially if you haven't set up your nets in different ears yet. stuff like that. So just always make sure you're identifying the frequency that you're checking on. That's all I got. Thank you, sir.
Yep. All right. Yep. E1 with B, private Alpha.
Actual, this is Alpha requesting radio check 100. Over.
Alpha, this is actual. I have you Lima Charlie on frequency 100. Over.
Actual, this is Alpha. Roger. Out.
Good shit. All right. So we got the go to whisper. Change your GPS color to depending on what team you're in. Radio checks. Obviously, program your radio. Do radio checks. Next, let's say we need to define buddy teams. The way I like to have buddy teams divided up would be your fire team leader and your automatic rifleman as one buddy team, and your grenadier and rifleman as the second buddy team. So that is buddy teams. Obviously, that's the prerogative of your squad leader, how he wants that set up, or even your fire team leader. But normally, that is how it is. Fire team leader, AR, one buddy team, and grenadier rifleman as your second buddy team. Once that's out of the way, you're going to get your 2IC taken care of. Now, normally, your 2IC won't be your auto rifleman. It can be, but normally it's not, because the auto rifleman is normally the team lead's battle buddy. So if the team lead goes down, the auto rifleman is probably not far from going down himself. So you kind of want to have that succession to command separated. So usually the grenadier or rifleman would be the 2IC of that fire team. So right there, you got battle buddies taken care of, got 2IC decided. Lastly, you need to do equipment check. Equipment can be anything from extra pouches for the AR to specific demo. Now that we can carry either demo charges or claymores, mission dependent. Another one would be NVGs. You know, take the initiative team leads, or fuck for anybody's sake in a squad. Like I didn't gain time. Oh shit, it's $1,600, $1,700, like Sergeant said. Make sure all y'all fuckers have your nods. You know, small stuff like earplug checks. You'd be surprised how many people fucking forget their earplugs for some reason. No spray paint. Equipment check can either go down to another mission dependent, would be the amount of frags, smokes, or flashbangs you want to carry. That's all flexible. Right now it's not. But when you get billeted, what you can carry is a little bit more flexible. You know, if you know you're going to be doing a lot more CQB mount flash, you know, clearing buildings, you know, you might want to carry like 3 less smokes and pick up, you know, 3 flashes or 2 flashes and extra frag. Now, don't sit there listing out your entire fucking kit. It's suggestions per mission. Yeah, some things are fucking guaranteed that you need, like earplugs, fucking extra pouches for the 249. The other stuff is mission dependent. That stuff will be prescribed either by your fucking team lead or your squad leader. You know, hey, hey guys, I think we need to, or not even think, we're gonna be doing a lot of fucking door kicking. We need extra flashbangs and frags, shit like that. Taking the initiative. So that's what happens with equipment checks. Yeah, so that is it. Just kind of go to the list real quick so we can kind of abbreviate this list for you so it's a little bit easier to understand. So first thing you want to do when you get into your pre-combat formation to do a pre-combat check like this is go to Whisper, change your GPS color, program radio, do radio checks, pick buddy teams, pick 2IC, do equipment check. Y'all need me to say that again, or y'all have it all squared away?
I got it, Sergeant.
Yeah, I got it, Sergeant.
Excellent. All right. So this usually happens pretty fucking quick. So from loading in, getting your kit, getting into this kind of formation, and doing everything I said, it's pretty quick process. All right, so we're going to move on to the formations. Before we jump into that, y'all have any questions, comments, concerns on this little section?
One question from me, Sergeant.
Yep, send it.
You mentioned spray paint.
Yes.
Is that something team leaders carry, or because we
no,
don't have it in our kit?
Yeah, that's not something you're going to have until you get billeted. All right, so spray paint colors, you have red and green. Green is going to be carried by everybody. Green is going to be used to mark buildings that have been cleared. So buildings that we go kick the door down and physically walk through, clearing the entire building, will get a green X on the entrance. The red color spray paint will be carried by your 2 fire team leaders. They are going to use the red spray paint because they have demo. That red spray paint is to mark a boundary of the position that's going to be demoed. That's why they carry a orange smoke. They set the demo down, they hook the clacker up to it, they pop smoke on that position, and they mark a boundary with red X's. So you see a bunch of red X's, don't cross it. Copy on that?
Yes, Sergeant.
Okay. Excellent. All right. I'm going to turn you over to the sergeants here, and y'all will go over movement formations.
Sergeant Smith?
Yes.
You taking through formations?
Oh, yeah, no problem. Can you voice hear me all right or no?
Yes, Sergeant.
Yeah, we can hear you, Sergeant.
I can hear y'all. Stand by.
I think they're on whisper.
Yeah, we can hear you, Sergeant.
I can hear
you
you
two
just
go on your
fine.
feet. Do I hear it a Zealander or Sterling? Oh no. Come follow me. I'm gonna go towards the red flag to movement formation. So we see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sergeant.
Go ahead and select it. Alright, you boys follow me up this flag. I'm sorry, up these stairs. right there on the indentation. Stand by. All right, so everything listed on here on this, but in front of you are all formations, well, basic movement formations that we'll be going over and covering. I'm only give you the very basics of what they are and what they should stand for, what you should be doing while in those formations. We're not going really in that much to advance. But we also, though, will be covering maneuver in terms of bounding Overwatch, traveling Overwatch, and traveling, and things of that nature. About our clean up some things. All right, now in terms of figuring out what information I'm talking about, you'll be following a red Connex box, so stand by as I place that down. All right, does everyone see this container box?
Yes, Sergeant.
All right, so this very first formation right here, right next to this red container box, excuse me, is a fire team file, closely similar to what you guys were just in, correct? Look just like it, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sergeant.
Okay, there we go. All right, so this is a fire team file. However, this time it's actually in movement. So when you're in movement, you're not actually nut to put like how you guys were in. You're basically going to be about 5 to 10 meter space from the person in front of you and or behind you. So if you're traveling behind the person, then you'll be make sure you're 15 to 10 meters behind them. Now I know it's hard for you to figure out how many meters the person is in front of you because they're not holding the tape measure that you're holding. So you can just do it based on judgment. Now, what you see these guys, the spacing that they're in right now, is I wouldn't say ideal, but however though a little more spacing between each other would be ideal. But this is the bare minimum of how close it would be to the person in front of you. Now, keep in mind though that all these formations on this little field are close together due to spacing. Sometimes you may be a little bit further apart, a little bit closely, due to terrain that is given towards you. What I mean by given towards you, I mean like what you just run up to. Sometimes you just ran into a tree line, or not tree line, but a wooden terrain. Now you got to condense your space so that you can see the person in front of you or whatever else. But it's all dependent based on the field. All right. Now, fire team file is what I like to call a formation you use mainly not in combat because of some reasons. Now, before I continue on that, though, that the fire team file has strong security to the flanks, means to the left and to the right.
I can't talk now. I'll call you back later.
To the rear. That means because only one person to the front and to the rear, which means only one person can do what when they see the enemy to the front. Only one person can shoot, correct?
Yes, sir.
Alright. So what happens if the machine gunner is in a good strategic location to the point where he can take out the guy in front of him? What happens then? I would guess the second person doesn't have that much time to react that quickly, right? Before he gets mowed down, correct?
Yes, Sergeant.
Alright. So just imagine you're behind a person in front of you and the person in front of you gets shot at. Do you think you have enough reaction time to shoot the guy that just shot you guy in front of you?
Probably not, Sergeant.
Thank you, there you go. Trust me guys, I might give you actually no quick, sorry not quick, but trick questions or any questions that I expect you to be a mastermind of. It's just yes or no. Very blatant questions, I'm not trying to trick you guys, embarrass you. Alright, so no, you wouldn't want to do that. I mean, no, you wouldn't be able to have enough time to react to shoot the guy in front of you. So, what normally happens is the domino effect. The person in front of you will get hit and then get shot at as it topples down until the last guy in a stack gets shot and gets killed. Same thing if you get shot from the rear, which is why I like to say that the formation is normally not used in a combat zone. So if we're going to be into an area where it starts to become more dangerous, or to where we know there's known enemies, then we're going to move on to the next formation, which is a fire team wedge. This formation you guys see right now. You guys see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sergeant.
All right. Now, unlike the file, the fire team wedge is one of the slower movement formations versus the file is one of the fastest and quickest formations. However, though, the fire team wedge is very versatile as it gives security basically all around every angle. So to the front, to the flanks, and to the rear. Now you're probably saying there's no one watching to the rear. Well, the guy at the very far right or very far left, what I mean by very far, I mean like the person to nearest to the rear, he could every so often keep checking to the rear, just as the guy in the file. But however, though, if they get engaged from the rear, all of them could just do a quick 360, sorry, 360, but 180 or about phase, and all of them still could be able to shoot the guy without having to shoot in front of the guy in front of them, or when I mean like the guy in front of them, they're friendly in front of them. Now, a fire team wedge, though, is one of the most commonly used and known formations that are out there. Generally based on the reasoning that whenever you aren't told what formation to go in, you always will know to go in a fire team wedge. People generally always will create that formation after you begin movement. Whenever you're given an order to begin movement at this certain bearing, you guys will generally go into a file. But while you're moving, you'll start to form that formation is supposed to form. So I'm telling you guys that when you're given a formation to create, don't just stop and create it. Start moving and then create the formation while moving. It doesn't have to be perfect, but as long as you're creating the ideal of the formation, you'll be able to get it done. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I do.
Now to continue, Fire Team Wedge has a heavy side because there's only 4 guys. The only focus most of the guys on one heavy side without leaving any other side without no security. So as you see right now, there's 2 guys on the heavy side and then 1 guy on the weak side still provides security on that weak side. Now, heavy side is always called based on heavy right or heavy left. And usually on the heavy side, you'll have the AR and the rifleman. The grenadier will be on the weak side. Let me explain why these guys are just set one, those set sides. Now the AR, the weapon system is designed to shoot only straight. You can't shoot in an arch, or you can't shoot as in the curveball way, whatever you want to call it. It only shoots in a straight angle. Just as the 84, it shoots straight, correct? Not in an arch.
Yes,
Unless you
sir.
have a javelin. But the 84 that you have in your back or law always shoot straight. The grenade launcher shoots straight or in an arch.
Arch Sergeant.
In an arch, okay. So if all of you get engaged on the heavy side, can every single person use your special weapon system that they have with them? The AR has his automatic rifle, the rifleman has his rocket, the grenadier has his grenade launcher. Can all of them use all those weapon systems to engage the enemy? Yes or no?
Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, there you go. His grenade launcher he can still chug a couple grenades over the heads of the friendlies, even though you're never supposed to do that. But because the rounds go into arch, he wouldn't expect it to 80% of the time hit a friendly. He will go out 200 to 300 meters out to engage the enemy. So it's all designed in a way so that every person can use their special weapon quickly enough without having to worry about getting online first before they can use the weapon system. Now, the heavy side is always chosen based on where we're most likely expecting to have enemy contact. So if we're traveling along a tree line or whatever, and then let's say to your left and my left is the west, right? And we're told that enemies are known to be on the western side. Then we'll form a wedge heavy left. Now, what if we were told that they're more an enemy threat to the eastern side? What wedge will be formed?
Heavy right.
They're moving north. Heavy right, there you go. We form a wedge heavy right. Okay. Now, in the perspective of these guys, they're moving towards us. What kind of wedge they're creating?
Heavy west wedge, sir.
Not heavy west. You guys say left.
Heavy
and
right.
Easy correct directions. Heavy right. There you go. All right. Any questions to wedge?
No, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me move on. Let me go back to the file. I want you guys to imagine that these guys are no longer in front of each other, one behind the other. Imagine them shoulder to shoulder. So imagine all these guys facing to their left or right. You guys imagine that? These guys over here where the box is at, that's in that file.
Yes, Sergeant.
Alright, now they're in a line. They're shoulder to shoulder, but spaced apart. Line formation is generally used where we're engaging at a known fixed enemy position. That means that we're charging a position where we know there's enemies at, and we don't really expect contact to be coming up from our flanks. So we're going to want to bring all of our firepower to the front so that everybody can engage that contact in front of us. Downfall of it is that the flanks of the fire team, or it could be, well, I'll just say the fire team, it's weak. So they get engaged by machine gunner from their flanks. Now the domino effect will happen just as if they're in their file. Are any questions of the line?
No, Sergeant.
So you also use this formation when you're attacking no minimum position. Now we're going to move on to squad formations. The first one here is a squad file. It has the same characteristics, just as I said about the fire team file. What I'm going to detail to you is some additional stuff you want to know about in terms of a squad formation. Now the squad file, or any squad formation, you have a point team. That team is always in the front, and it always will be 10 to 15 meters in front of the trailing element. Trailing or traveling or rear team, there's a lot of names you call these teams, will be, like I said, 10 to 50 meters behind the team in front of them. Now in front of this trailing and traveling team, these two guys in front of them is a squad and a squad medic. Squad medic will be in front of that rear team, which will also be 10 to 50 meters behind the point team or front team or lead team. A lot of names you call them as well. Are any questions on that so far, based on squad formations? Who's a point element, who's a rear element?
No, Sergeant.
Okay. Now, in terms of squad file can be done in many ways, just as the fire team file. One thing I want to point out real quick, though, if we are making our way towards boarding into a airframe, a Chinook or a Black Hawk, which we'll go over during day 3, we'll form a squad file and walk in a file towards the birds. Keep ourselves organized, not to create cluster and get people confused on where their squad members went, and then holding them up more time to get to the bird. Now that won't happen in ArmA 3 because you have many ways of knowing where your squad is at. Now also, this can be also formed if a platoon is forming a platoon staggered column on a street or on a road. And sometimes FHQ members will have one squad on one side of the road while another squad goes on the other side of the road. If they're traveling one supply route, could be a main supply route, alternate supply route, or just an alternate route, then the platoon will travel on that main route and never divert into any other road. Then they'll form a platoon, second column just in that way. Okay. Now, sometimes you'll form a file, a squad file in this case, if we're doing many worst case scenarios as well. Now, in that worst case scenario, I mean that there's no other option you could pursue because all the options you had were eliminated because of some certain factors. Let's say you have to travel through a minefield. You're unable to get airlifted out of the area to go find another way across this minefield. You're not able to go around the minefield because enemies are coming up from your flank, so you can't go divert any other way. So the only option you could do is travel through the minefield. Now, I'm not saying you should travel through the minefield. You got to explore every other option before you go to the minefield. You get enemies at your rear to your flank, so you have to go through it. Then you'll form a file. Because the person in front of you, which shows to be at the front, because of many reasons, he has the best eyesight out of everyone else in the squad. He has any detectors to know where the mines are at, whichever it may be. He's going to be placed in the front. Now, everyone else is going to follow the path that he's created because it's one main reason. They want to blaze a trail. If you blaze a trail and start forming your own path, you're going to set off a mine. What happens when you set off a mine? It alerts the enemy that we're going through a minefield, so they're in there, even though if they haven't known, we travel through it. Number 2, the pressure of that mine, the shrapnel comes out, might apply pressure to other mines that are in the field and set off any more mines, and then might most likely kill the whole squad because of your decision to go creating your own trail. So want to make sure you stay one behind the other. Questions on that?
No, Sergeant.
No, Sergeant.
And lastly, if you're going through a terrain that's very low visibility, or any scenario where there's very, very low visibility where we can't see that closely in front of us, then we'll form a file and closing the space in very tightly enough where we see the person in front of us so that we'll never lose each other. Alright, the question squad file.
No, Sergeant.
Okay. Move on to the next formation. That's the squad column. The squad column is formed with a wedge and a diamond. Now, sometimes if you form with both two wedges or two diamonds, but it'll also be the wedge of diamond because of the versatility that it creates within the whole formation. Now, the fire team in the front being a wedge, it allows the fire team in the front to be able to pierce through any known contacts like that, and then form a skirmish line quickly enough. Because what happens is that if these guys get engaged, all four of these guys could be able to get eyes downrange and engage enemies while they try to get online. Versus if they're in a diamond, the fourth guy in the rear will not be able to engage the contacts until he goes through enemy fire, gets on one of the flanks, and then pushes online with the rest of the fire team. Now, the team in the rear being a diamond allows an extra layer of protection for the squad medic, squad leaders, so that they won't get hit by any elements inside the engages from the rear. This way they can be able to call in contact reports up to chain of command and be able to get any fire support from any friendly artillery elements, air support that can come in and help the system. Medic staying alive gives them the extra fighting chance to get back up and fight in the field again. Also, this guy in the very rear is able to provide direct 6 o'clock security by just turning his head around or turning around to check the rear security every so often without being blindsided by one other side. Okay. Now, a squad column is one of the most commonly known formation to be created. Not created, but commonly known formations to be used while on the field in movement. Squad file, just the file, is one of the most fastest movements in the squad formation. Squad column is one of the most, is not slow, but one of the most normal paced movement formations that's out there. But it is versatile, one of the most strongest, and provides the most best security to the whole element. Now, within the squad column, you're able to essentially perform travel to Overwatch. Travel to Overwatch means that you're going to have, instead of the point fire team being 10 to 50 meters ahead of the rest of the squad, they're now going to be 50 meters ahead of the rest of the squad. What essentially doing is something we like to call reconnaissance or scouting out. And actually doing active scouting or direct scouting, but what essentially they're doing with them being 50 meters ahead of the rest of the squad, they're able to know where there's enemy elements at, and they'll be able to be the first ones to engage the enemy and let us know where the enemy is coming from. Form a skirmish line, and I'm going to bring up the contact reports. Give us about 15 to 30 seconds to react and send up that order before we arrive there, which basically provide a reconnaissance to salvage fire down there. Then, the drilling element, which is 50 meters behind, if they're going to maneuver. So they're either maneuver left or right. They're going to go around the friendly element and engage the enemy from either the left or right flank. Let's say this red box where I'm moving right now is the enemy. These guys are saying enemy contacts 12 o'clock, 100 meters ahead. So then the squad at the rear, who's 50 meters behind, they're going to take that judgment and say, okay, enemy's 100 meters ahead of the the friendly elements in front of us, so that's 150 meters ahead of us right now. So it's 150 meters ahead of us, so let's go ahead and form a squad wedge heavy left. Let's maneuver on the right-hand side and form that wedge heavy left. The reason why they're forming a wedge heavy left is because the enemies are on their left flank. Remember I told you that where the enemy is known to be at, you'll form that wedge, the heavy side on that certain side, right? Remember I said that?
Yes, Sergeant.
So if the enemy threat was on the right side, what formation you would form? A wedge heavy what? The enemy's on your right, you'll form a wedge heavy what?
Heavy left, Sergeant.
So not left, because the enemy is known to be on the right side. So why would you want to put all your fire parts to the left side? So where we're going to put it at, actually?
Right-hand side, Sergeant.
There you go. You want to put all your fire power to the right. So you're going to form a wedge heavy right. Now, in these guys, in their case, they're going to form a wedge heavy left because the enemy is going to be on their left side. If you look on their perspective, everyone understand what I'm saying right here? From their perspective right now. Everyone understand it?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes or no? That's why you need yes or no response. There you go. All right, so this would be on their wedge heavy left. Let's pretend they moved up 150 meters now. Now they're on line with the enemy. The enemy is directly to their left-hand side. What formation do you form when you're now assaulting a known fixed enemy position? Which formation I said you're going to do?
Line formation, Sergeant?
There you go. You're going to form a line formation to assault enemy position. So they're going to form this line formation, get on line with each other, and assault the position. So they move on line with each other, assault it, And before they go across the line of fire, the first man on the far right, they're going to say, Alpha, this is Bravo, Bravo, this is Alpha, shift or lift your fire. When they do so, they say, Roger, lift your fire. You're going to keep on pursuing the enemy, clear out the enemy position, let them know the position is being cleared or we're now clearing out now. So that this team that's providing basic fire for you, pick up their weapon and start moving. Because as first I like to say, you're doing dick all according to a friendly element that's in front of your line of sight. You can't engage enemies that they're getting engaged by, so you might as well start maneuvering and moving there now. Because if you're the element that's clearing out the position of the enemy, you get engaged, you're now at a base of fire. No longer maneuvering element. Alright, now that's traveling Overwatch. You're 50 meters behind the element in front of you. And essentially, you're doing this at the point element could be the bait team, so that they can form a skirmish line and let the enemy know that they're the only person there, so that they can provide distraction for the trailing team to maneuver on the enemy and eliminate the enemy. Now, bounding to Overwatch, guys are now bounding past each other. You're actually not in maneuver, you're in movement. You're just bounding past each other because the visibility is either number one, the visibility is very low, and number two, the enemy threat is very high to the point where we're soon we're going to get engaged by enemy contact. So either we see the enemy, so we're going to do bounding Overwatch, or intel tells us that there's enemies nearby us within 100 meters, so now we're going to bound towards the known enemy position that we've got intel from. So you guys just going to bound past each other in a wedge formation, or actually no formation, just going to keep running past each other in a line, bounding past each other, so you get to where you're supposed to go with the rails. Do you ever get the difference between traveling to Overwatch, and bounding Overwatch?
For the most part, Sergeant.
Okay.
Yes, Sergeant.
That's yes or no.
Yes, Sergeant.
Traveling, you're going to be 10 to 15 meters behind the point team, or if you're the point team, you're 10 to 15 meters ahead of the trailing team. Travel to Overwatch, you're 50 meters ahead of the trailing team, or 50 meters behind the point team. And you're doing this because that you're now into enemy territory, and soon we're going to get engaged by enemies. And then bounding to Overwatch, you guys are bounding past each other, either successive or alternating. And you're doing this because the visibility is low, or enemy threat is at all-time high. We're about to get engaged soon. Now, alternating and successive bounding, you're leapfrogging past each other. So one element bounds, and the other element would bound past the element that bounded before them. Successive bounding, you guys are bounding online with each other. So one element would bound forward, and then the next element would bound forward until he's online with the element that bounded before them, and it just keeps on going, so on and so forth. You'll see that soon enough in this day. All right. We're going to move on to the next formation. Let me just clean this out here, and then move the formations in front of you guys so you can see it much clearly. This is a squat line right here that I just moved. Everyone see this formation right here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sergeant.
All right, squat line. Looks a little different to a fire team line, right?
Yes, Sergeant.
Yes,
But
Sergeant.
this squat line has two wedges, right?
Yes, Sergeant.
Yeah, I see the two wedges there? Yeah, okay. And I'm explaining the reasons for it. Now, this is basically, if from their perspective, it's an M. From your perspective, it's a W. It allows them to have two arrowheads on both flanks to pierce through the enemy once again. But the reason why they're both on the wedges, and you return squad and squad medics in the center, because it provides, once again, versatility of firepower and security to the front and to the flanks. Now, if you guys didn't know, which I'm pretty sure you guys don't know, is that any element that's supporting an element that's up ahead, or whatever, any squad, how about, let me go back. A fire team, so two fire teams in one squad are never far apart greater than 50 meters. That's how far apart they're going to be. If they're 100 meters far apart, then there has to be a reason why. The most furthest apart they're going to be is 50 meters. That's the reason why they'll take a little bit higher stakes in terms of assaulting enemy position. This time, a squad, the nearest sister squad element will be at most 600 meters away, because your maximum effective range on area targets for the M4 is what? 600 meters, right?
Yes, Sergeant.
So that's the most furthest away an element will be from you. So if your squad goes down, the most nearest element can come and save you is 600 meters away. They have to fight through all the enemies to get to you within 600 meters. You might bleed out by that time. So to make sure that the squad doesn't go down so that easily, it has strong flanks, going to form a wedge on both sides. You have a wedge on this left side right here and a wedge on the other side. Both of these are different fire teams. These guys right here are in a wedge heavy right. Or we can see that, right? From their perspective, not from our perspective. These guys are wedge heavy right. We all see that, right?
Yes, Sergeant.
Okay. These guys over here in a wedge heavy what?
Left,
From
Sergeant.
their perspective. Heavy left, there you go. Because why? They have two guys on the left-hand side. Okay. So, you guys can separate these four guys next to this box from the rest of these guys and point out something out. Of course, fire team is right here on point. You got the AR right here, rifleman right here, then grenadier. Same thing on this side. Fire team leader, grenadier, AR, rifleman. Here's one thing that changes it. All the formations I've shown you are always set in stone. Sometimes the heavy side might just have a grenadier and rifleman because the fire team wants to have his AR on the opposite side to equal out the power. You never know. Now, this is what you commonly would see by default the squad line. But sometimes the squad leader might want the AR at the center. So where the grenadier stands right here, the squad leader might want the AR on this side. Can anyone guess why he wants the AR closest to him?
Protect the medics, sir.
Yes, this is the wrong answer. Say again?
Protect the medics, sir.
Additional frontward firepower.
Forward firepower. So if he brings ARs right next to him, what he's able to do when he sees a target is not like just think commonly. Why would I want to bring my AR next to me if I see a target? Want to what?
Suppress the
I
target.
want to point it out to him, right? I want to point the target out to the AR, right?
Yes, sir.
There you go. Yes. Okay. Because a AR has to communicate to the team leader, right? In order to communicate to the squad leader, right? So if you're my team leader, I have to tell you, hey, can you tell the actual to do this? And then you tell the actual to do this. Or if I tell my team leaders, hey, have your AR shoot at this direction, and they have to wait for you to tell your AR to shoot at this direction, and then that's within like 30 seconds maybe. Probably the target already seen this, we're dead, or whether or not the target's gone with the server or not. So to eliminate all those layers of communication, all I gotta do is yell and say, hey, Ring Rose, point your rifle over here and engage that target right there while we push it up on this compound. Lake, I want you to focus your firepower on top of this tower while I push up this compound. We don't want anything else shooting at us while we engage in this position. You see where I did there as a squad leader? I'm able to direct the firepower of the most best weapon system in my squad to concentrate it on the most highest threats to the squad while we're pushing on this position. You guys get what I'm saying? That's why the squad leader wants the AR right there at those certain positions, so he can be able to direct the firepower directly to center and have in control where the AR is pointed at. Now, sometimes the squad wants the AR to be on the flank, so instead of him, ARs being right there on him, he might have the AR originally where the AR should most likely be at in a wedge formation. The AR can have overlapping fields of fire, which you'll learn later on today. ARs have overlapping fields of fire, so I mean, he's able to engage, let's say this AR right here at this certain position. Everyone tracking so far, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sergeant.
Okay. The AR right here, he's able to engage contacts of left flank, right? You all see that, right?
Yes, Sergeant.
He can also engage contacts to the front flank, right?
Yes, Sergeant.
Same on this side. He can engage the front and to the right, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Overlapping fields of fire. Now we got the most highest fire superiority to both flanks. Now, I'm sorry, not both flanks, but to the front and to the right and to the left. 90-degree fire support to all those sides. That's another reason why he might want to put the AR on that side. So there's a lot of reasons why, if you're a squad leader, soon enough you'll understand those situations more generally. All right. Now, all the characteristics I pointed out of the fire team line, I also put that for the squad line, in addition to what I spoke about the squad line as well. Any questions on the squad line?
No, Sergeant.
Okay. The last formation we're going to go over There's a squad staggered column. There's these guys right here in front of you. Two ways form a staggered column. I'm gonna go over real quickly. You can have fire teams create a staggered column, which will create the squad staggered column, or you can have fire teams create a line on different sides. I'm sorry, a file on different sides, which will create a staggered column. And I'm gonna show you this right now. See. These two guys on both sides of this red box, you see them, right?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna imagine that they're moving from left to right. Excuse me. So these two guys on the left and right hand side of this box are in front and rear of this box. Other point fire team. These guys right here, squad and squad medic. The one to the left is the box, the right, or from us, on our perspective, is to the front, to the back of the box. Then these guys right here is a trailing team. You notice how that point team and the rear team is forming a staggered column, right?
Yes, Sergeant.
Yeah, right now I'm just going over individual ways how I create a formation. Now I'll go over characteristics of the formation. Okay, now they'll form this in a scenario if they're traveling with a vehicle, they're providing vehicle escort. So let's say that the vehicle is somewhere around here. So they're escorting the vehicle into any certain area. So into a town, they're walking the vehicle down the street, or whatsoever may be the scenario in the case of it. They're traveling down the road and they're expecting contact to be at their front flanks. So they're going to have this team at the rear be here so that this team could be able to maneuver without being engaged. The team would be here in the rear if they want to as well. Those are some reasons why they're formed that way. Another way to create the stagger column is the front 4 guys on the right side, the front 4 guys on the left side, or in our case, the front and to the rear of the box, are another fire team. So, guys in front and rear of this box right here, or left to right in our case, is one fire team. Another guy right here, and another guys right here are another fire team. And these 2 guys trailing the rear is the squad medic. Can we all see how that's created, right? Both fire teams in the file next to each other, correct? We see that?
Yes, Sergeant.
Let me know if you guys are confused, be honest. Okay. They'll form this formation if they're going into a town. Most likely we're clearing out an urban terrain, or we're going to an urban terrain, and we're clearing out a town. This is the way how we'll create a squad staggered column. Because we'll always have to clear out town, we have to clear out buildings bottom in that town, or compounds. When we're clearing out towns and compounds, you have to make, compounds and buildings, you have to make sure we create a cordon to prevent enemies going inside the building we're breaching or compound we're breaching, and coming out of the compound we're breaching or entering our building. So, in order to do that, we need to be able to communicate the guys on those securities, let them know, hey, we're about to come out, or hey, we're breaching in, or the guys who are holding security let us know, hey, friendly's coming in, or hey, we're taking contact on the outside. Now, if one fire team is providing security while another fire team is breaching, there's more layers of communication, takes more time for staff to go up and down chain of command. Versus, if a fire team has their own guys providing security and their own guys breaching, there's only one network they got to communicate on. They got to talk to the squad leader. It's only one layer chain of communication that has to go up. It has to go up then down, and only goes up. You guys see what I'm saying there? It just eliminates confusion and the frustration, right? We all can see that. You guys will understand it more once you get to the field. But you guys understand what I'm saying.
Yes, Sergeant.
Okay. Our column is generally formed when we travel alongside a road. It allows the whole fire team, allows the squad to be able to go on the other sides of the road to provide firepower on both sides. Along with that as well, if a vehicle decides to approach down the road, it can only take out half the squad, not the whole squad. These guys are traveling directly on the road. With them traveling on the lane of the road, a vehicle has to choose which side to run over this guys on. So at least eliminates half the squad instead of the whole squad. Now, in addition to that as well, it allows free leisure for any friendly Vics to travel up down the road freely without having to wait for friendly elements to go across. To get out of the way. Okay. Sometimes this formation may not even be before when we're going down the road. We might be forming this traveling in a terrain that's not a road or whatever else. So sometimes to be forming in the other scenario. Any questions with a stagger column?
No, Sergeant.
All right. Now to show you more descriptively what a stagger column the vehicle escort is, here you are. Stagger column with the vehicle escort. A little more closer to the left. All right. Now these guys over here, to the right, is that stagger column. That team to point on the point. That's in a stagger column. That's the point team, and then you have the squad medic right here, and they have that rear team at the rear. Now, if you guys are wondering where's the two guys in this fire team, can anyone guess where they may be at?
In the vehicles.
There you go. They were in the vehicle. Whenever we're escorting a vehicle, we have to make sure that there's infantry support. Infantry has to be within 50 meters ahead of it. Well, the point team has to be 50 meters ahead of it. What they are right now, it's about 50 meters ahead of the vehicle. That kind of squad, I'm talking about the point team. The maneuver team is actually free enough to move anywhere they gotta go. These guys at the rear have to stick within the 50 meters directly at the rear of the vehicle. No leisure. They have to make sure the rear security of the vehicle is clear and protected at all times. Alright. I'm going to go over what the point that maneuver team is supposed to do, but generally, the reason I did at the front is to clear out buildings quickly before the vehicle goes across the building so the vehicle won't get shot from rooftops, but also to clear out intersections, alleyways, any danger points that may pose a threat to the vehicle. Alright. Any questions or information I went over today?
No, Sergeant.
Alright. Hopefully you're able to gain all information within was less than 45 minutes, probably 40 minutes. A lot of information we went over, a lot of information I discussed about them, a lot of basic information. We'll expect you to learn more when you get to billet, but hopefully we're able to understand this information and be able to apply it later on today and apply it during day 4. Without no more further questions, go ahead and do a left face and go ahead and follow me. Well, right face, you guys facing that way, and follow me downstairs. Alright, now it's enough about movement information. I'm going to go over movement techniques in terms of what you do while you're traveling and how to be situationally aware of your surroundings and the terrain. I'm going to go over some long haul, short halts, and then we'll go over maneuver techniques in terms of how to perform maneuver techniques, and then we'll end up with the bounding overwatch here at any time. We'll go over Mount CQB. Now, for this next portion, in terms of what to do in movement and how to clear out danger areas and long haul short halts, I hand you guys over to Sergeant McCoy.
All right. Thank you, Sergeant. All right, follow me, gentlemen. Let's move up here. Give me one sec. All right. So you gone over formations. Now we're gonna go over the movement portion and when you're gonna use these formations. Well, not necessarily when, but all right. Anyway, sorry. Just getting my document up here. All right. So anytime we go out on patrol or mission operation, everything we do is a patrol technically. So there's always going to be a planned route. There's going to be an op word with a route drawn up by the platoon HQ. A route is simply your movement from point A to point B. Point A initially will be your start point. Point B will usually be what's called an RP or a rally point. Those can be planned rally points if they're discussed in the op word. There can also be unplanned rally points if there's a frago or things constantly change. The battlefield is extremely dynamic. So you have to be ready for any eventuality. So your movement is going to be basically the big difference here that we're talking about is the difference between movement and maneuver. Movement is when you're just moving from point A to point B along a route to a rally point or objective rally point or an overwatch point, something like that. Maneuver is when you're in contact. That is the key difference. The same as if it's a spot, the difference between spot report and a contact report, that is the key difference. If you're maneuvering, you're actively engaged with the enemy. So what we're talking about now is just movement. So on your movement, if you look behind me, in front of you, this road here, I believe this is an ASR. Yep, so this is an alternate supply route. If you look to both directions, you'll see that it's pretty wide fucking open in all directions here. This is what's called a linear danger area, or an LDA. So when we're in a movement, we want to make sure that we're securing these positions as best we can to provide security for other elements of the task force to move through, or even other elements of your squad. So what we do first when we encounter a linear danger area like this, you see the gentlemen that are prone behind me, they've set up what's called a danger crossing. And the basics of this is, so you guys are familiar with how the fire team is split up into 2 buddy teams, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sergeant.
Okay, so the basic execution of this is the lead movement team, so say Alpha is on point, they're going to call up to their squad leader and say, hey, actual, this is Alpha, we're approaching an LDA. And then the squad leader, as long as you're in movement, not maneuver, he'll tell you to most likely to set up a danger crossing. So the team leader is going to say, all right, Alpha team, we're setting up a danger crossing right here. And then the first move that you're going to do is the team leader and his battle buddy, which will be the AR, are going to push up to the near side of the road, the side that we're on, so the side closest to you. You're going to coordinate between each other which side who's going to cover. Usually you want the AR pointing in the direction that is most likely to have contact, because that's, force multiplying weapon system. So the first buddy team is going to get set up here, just like these guys are, probably a little bit further apart than this. This is just close together for demonstrative purposes. Then once that's done, the team lead is going to call to his 2IC. He's going to say, Team 1 is set. Team 2, move across. And so what's going to happen now is the Grenadier, or the 2IC of the fire team, is going to move across. As they cross this threshold, they're going to yell out, crossing, just to let the other guys know that they are now crossing behind them. So follow me. The other team is going to push up. They're going to push past the danger crossing to about this rock wall. It's about 20, 30 meters away. So you're going to get set here, a little out in front. You're going to scan the area, just make sure it's safe, give it a couple seconds, look around, and then you're going to get back up, return to this side here, and then with coordination, the other buddy team is going to set up just like these gentlemen are here, parallel with the other fire team, or the other members of the fire team. At that point, the 2IC will radio to the fire team leader and say, Team 2 is set. Then the Alpha team lead will go to Actual and say, Actual is Alpha, danger crossing is set, and then the rest of the team will move through. And it's really important here, as everyone crosses, they need to yell that they're crossing. They need to verbalize that action so that, because when you're setting up a danger crossing, the last thing you want to do is take your eyes off of your sector. You don't want to look behind you to see who's crossing or how many people are left. So it's vital that the last person that crosses yells last man. You need to say it really fucking loud. Make sure you're on yelling. And you don't necessarily want to use the radio, because most likely it is a member of the other fire team that'll be the last man. So if you transmit on your radio, the fire team that has the danger crossing set is not going to hear him. So you make sure you're on yelling, and you make sure you shout last man, and then that signifies to the near side team, that would be the fire team leader and AR, that it is their turn to now pick up and move across the danger crossing. So once they hear last man, they're going to give it like 2 1,000 count, so wait a couple seconds. Then you guys get up and cross, and as the last man crosses again, you're going to call to the other team, last man crossing. That'll signal to them that it's their turn to get up and move. And at this point, in the example we were discussing, Alpha Fire Team set up the danger crossing, and Bravo pushed through. That would mean Bravo is now the point fire team, and Alpha is the trailing fire team, just to make movement easier. You don't want to tap the team that's now in the rear, push back up in front, which is going to hold everyone up for a long, long time. All right, so any questions about danger crossings, how to set them up?
No, Sergeant.
Go, Sergeant.
Okay, it's I mean, in all this stuff, this needs to be done in a matter of like 30 seconds to a minute tops, and a minute is like really slow. So I mean, all this stuff is happening lightning fucking fast. So with practice, you guys will definitely, you get there, you'll be able to set this stuff up quick. A lot of it is just about good coordination and clear communication between your fire team members.
If you didn't have this cover back here, would you still move up that far?
That is at your discretion. Maybe not that far, but you want to just get out a little bit so you can see in front of you. See, because you'll know the route, the approximate bearing or direction you want to move. And you want to push up at least a little bit to try and get eyes out, do a little quick recon to make sure that you're not, just running into enemy contact or something like that. Or like mines or, anything that could be a threat to you and your team. So it's entirely what we call MET-TC dependent, which is a phrase or an acronym you'll hear a lot around here, and that basically is, everything depends on multiple factors of the mission. And actually, this is something good for your notes. Do you guys have notes on MET-TC at this point?
Negative, Sergeant.
Okay, all right, so you might want to write this one down. So MET-TC is METT-TC. So M stands for mission. So that's, you know your mission, you know what factors are involved in it, what your objective is. E stands for enemy forces. That's how many enemy you're facing. What are they equipped with? Do they have armor? Are they night vision capable, etc.? The first T stands for time available. How long do you have before something, how long do you have till the sun comes up? How long do you have before you're possibly exposed to enemy view? The second T stands for troops available. What do you have on your side? How many troops do you have available? What weapon systems do they have? The next T stands for terrain. What kind of terrain are you crossing? Are there hills? Are there cliffs? Is it flat and open like this? You have to take the terrain into consideration. And last, the C is civil considerations. Are there civilians in the AO? Is HE clear to use in towns or around structures, stuff like that? So these are all factors you need to consider when making decisions, even as small as that, at every level of what the task force does here. Any questions about that, or need me to say any of that again?
No, I got all that, Sergeant.
All right, excellent. All right, so let's say we've completed our danger crossing. I guess we'll add one last thing. So if you're in maneuver, you do not set up a danger crossing like this, because you see how you're just exposed out in the open. If you're already in contact, you do not want to set up security like this. You want to just keep pushing through, because now you're in maneuver. This is a movement security, not a maneuver security. All right. So let's go ahead and push up a little bit here. All right, so now we're going to talk about a short halt. Oops. All right, so short halt is literally what it sounds like. You're stopping your movement in place for, less than 2 minutes. That's the ideal time. Anything more than 2 minutes is extremely dangerous. There's no real formation for a short halt. You want to just stay in your movement formation. So say you're in a wedge, you get a short halt called. Fire team leader will say, Alpha, short halt. The team will stop in their formation, and then they will take up 360 security as best they can. Obviously, if there's some piece of cover near you or close by, you should move to the cover, just, or concealment. But the idea is that you just want to get quick security, because it's most likely you're just waiting for a route adjustment or something like that. All right, it's pretty straightforward. You just kind of can stop in your wedge and make sure everyone is watching a different sector to keep 360 security. Any questions about the short halt?
No, Sergeant.
All right, so now let's step it up to the long haul over here. All right, so this is what I would call a kind of picture-perfect long haul formation. It'll never be this precise in the field, I guarantee it. But the concept, this is meant to just display the concept. And also, this would be spread out about another 20, 30 meters, because one mortar will take out this entire squad, and that's unacceptable. So in the middle here, you have your medic and your fire and your squad leader. And then if you see, you have the fire teams broken up into buddy teams, with the ARs always watching the weakest spots. So you have an AR always watching 12 o'clock, and you have an AR always watching 6 o'clock. And you see that their battle buddies have taken up the remaining sectors. And what's going to happen here is there's going to be overlapping fields of fire. So each sector slightly overlaps with the next one. So the person next to you is going to have a slight overlap into what you're seeing to provide additional support if needed. But the idea here is to make sure all sectors are covered. And it's really important that if you do come into contact when you have security like this, not to drop your sector. I know that it's really, really hard, and you want to shoot these motherfuckers, but the second you drop your sector, you've now left an entire flank or an entire area vulnerable, and you could be responsible for the casualties of your entire squad just by looking away for a few seconds. You never know, but that is entirely possible. So the long halt formation here is used if we're going to be staying in one spot for more than 5 minutes. It's not meant to be entrenched, so you don't want to dig in here unless you're told to, but the idea here, and this is something we rarely do, honestly, because as light infantry, we need to keep moving. Violence of action is our bread and butter here. So long halts are not necessarily something we do a lot, but it's something you do need to know in case it happens. So any questions about the long halt formation?
No, Sergeant.
No, Sergeant.
All right, excellent. Let's see what else we got here. Sergeant Smith, you got anything else? Or Sergeant Margiata?
No.
Negative.
All right. So we're taking them to the bounding course now, the dry fire.
Yes.
You want to run them through here? Just head over there quick style.
We're running through. Sergeant Margetta over there.
Yeah, he's right here, Sergeant.
He likes to go through this portion, but he's not there. I go through it.
Yes, Sergeant Mario, do you want to take him through on foot, or do we want to just go straight there?
Yeah, just follow me, gentlemen.
All right.
Just double time it over to the checker flag. All right. Something I haven't done yet, but we'll try it here. Hit Control H. Find yourself on the micro dagger. Real quick. You see the blue arrows pointing out to the northeast?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sergeant.
Alright, you see how that looks on the micro dagger?
Yes,
sir.
Sergeant.
Did I terrain feature? You see how the contour lines are flowing? Alright, get out your micro dagger and follow me. Well, this is that terrain feature. And you can see how it is shaped like a V. You got your spurs on the side, and you got your fucking draw down the middle. And a fucking tree on my way. And if you use this properly, now you can start seeing that we're getting deeper into the draw. You can't see shit on your left and right. That is the purpose of this, excuse me. This is the purpose of this terrain feature. Instead of crossing the open fucking field that we have on either side, we can use this terrain feature and move quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, at this point, you really don't even have to. You could crouch, but at some spots, you really don't even have to crouch. Now, keep in mind that you're in formation doing this. So you don't want to skyline, basically, by going past the spurs. So say you're in a fire team wedge, we'll keep it simple. That's spread out pretty far. Well, formations can morph depending on terrain. This terrain, in general, is one that usually they morph from a wide coverage of a formation, and you almost kind of get blended into like a half wedge, half fire team file, where everybody will shrink in to keep from skylining, but also utilizing this terrain feature. And as you can see, coming up out of Defilade over there to y'all's left, you know, now we're pretty much out in the open from both sides. So, you know, staying down there is key. Let's double time it to the end of this draw.
So when we're moving in formations like this, Sergeant, would we be sprinting or just a fast-paced walk?
You will be in a jog. You always want to be in a jog. Like right now, we're sprinting. You know, you want to be in this. The jog. All right. So, we ran out of fucking Defilade. You can see it on your fucking micro dagger. It just ends here. Well, being a squad lead, we can't always see everything. So we rely on a point fire team to kind of be our eyes up front there. Don't be afraid to call short halt. You know, this is Alpha, we need to take a short halt here. You know, I'll say, all right, let's take a short halt and ask why. Or you can let me know after. Not everybody, like when you're in a fire team, not everybody needs to come up here and start fucking looking. They should keep their formation, keep their sectors of cover, and this is the fire team leader's job to assess the situation. All right, actual, this is Alpha. We got some rocks, you know, east of our position. We can use that as cover to move to the objective. So, you know, it's not a democracy. You know, you got to be a leader and keep everybody focused. But I just wanted to show you this little terrain feature. That's great, and it helps with concealing your movement. All right, let's step up a little bit more, gentlemen. All right, just wanted to show you because we need to hurry up and get over there. Time constraints right now. They got the flags with the little tin over there. Y'all have
Yes,
eyes
sir.
on?
Yes, Sergeant.
All right, that's our destination. So let's book it over there.
Good job sticking with your battle buddy. I like it. Like what I'm seeing.
All right. Give me a second, gentlemen. All right, so we were in movement the whole time, just for immersion purposes and training purposes. Y'all moved from that direction to this direction in a keep it simple, fire team wedge. Well, all of a sudden you have came under contact from your left. What's the first thing you want to do?
Move the firepower over to the left side, Sergeant.
That's like step 2.5. Just
Find
think,
cover if
somebody
able,
was-
Sergeant.
That's step 2.
It's a 1.75.
Yeah. So if if somebody was shooting at you, just try to think real life. What's your reaction?
Return fire, Sergeant.
Well,
Probably hit the deck.
yeah,
Put your
Excuse
dick in the dirt.
yep. Put your dick in the dirt. You want to get down low. Get your silhouette, your fucking body, whatever, get it down into the ground. Next thing you want to do is figure out where the fuck that fire's coming from. Because you don't want to just arbitrarily run to the closest or crawl to the nearest cover. Because you might be crawling the wrong way and that cover might not offer you any protection. So step 1, put your dick in the dirt. Step 2, figure out where the fire's coming from. Step 3, find cover. Like 3.5, get to that cover. Step 4, you want to start returning fire and call out a contact report. Now, when you get to start firing, you want to get online. Online means you're fucking shoulder to shoulder for the most part. I don't want to see, stand where you are, don't move. I don't want to see this shit. Y'all two are fucking pulling, returning fire, and you got a jackass standing between y'all two, shooting past you. All it takes is one of y'all to move left or right, and I shoot you in the back of the head. It happens. It's fucking nonsense. Get on fire, return. Get online, return fire, and wait for further orders. Now you have options when you're online. You can either, 1, commit both fire teams. We're going to example this now with a full squad. You can either commit both fire teams to overfire, just destroy the enemy, produce overwhelming firepower that you kill them all, or do they start retreating? 2, you can flank the enemy. This only works if the rear fire team is not seen by the enemy. If the rear fire team is seen by the enemy, you can throw that out the fucking window. Flanking is when one fire team is a base of fire, the other fire team will sneak around the flank of the enemy, depending on whatever side is viable, and they will now engage and push through the enemy, while the base of fire will, what we call, shift fire or lift fire. Shift fire means you start shooting away from the friendlies as they push through. So if they're pushing from the left to the right, by how you're looking, you're going to start shifting right. So the more they push in, you're going to start engaging targets further right of them. So that's flanking and destroying the enemy. The third thing you can do, which is not a bitch move, but you can actually fall back. You can break contact. If it's not, if you don't feel like this is the right spot to engage and destroy the enemy, they got the superior position, you can always break contact. By doing that, you're going to have a base of fire. Your other fire team will pull back off to either side, either the left or right side of that fire team that's on point, that's base of fire. Then they're going to start putting down fire. They're going to pick up the slack, so that point fire team that's original base of fire can now get up and peel backwards to start creating distance from the enemy. I know it's a lot of information, but this shit is going to be refined once you get billeted. So right now we're going to practice bounding forward so we can put all our firepower online, and we're going to actually just push forward until we destroy the enemy with overwhelming firepower. You want to go over this part, Sergeant McCoy? All right, I'll go over this point. Disappeared. All right, so get online, gentlemen. All right, no, right, get online. We're here. On there. All right, spread it out some, because you remember you want to have spacing. All right, you're going to communicate with each other. One person's going to be the base of fire while the other person bounds forward. So it's pretty simple. Obviously, you need to figure out who's going to be the base of fire and who's going to bound forward. It doesn't have to be, no, you go or you do this. Just somebody pick it. Obviously, if it's the fire team leader, fucking step up and be like, all right, I'm going to be a base of fire. You're fucking bounding forward first. Just get that shit situated, because time is everything right now.
All right. I'll be the base fire.
There you go. All right. So figure out. Okay, I'm gonna be the base fire. You're gonna bound forward. What you're gonna say is, all right, set covering. When he hears that, person that's bound forward knows, okay, he's set. He's covering.
That's what I say, Sergeant?
Yeah, if you're going to cover him first, you're going to say set covering. The person that is bounding forward will just say moving.
Set covering?
Moving.
Yep, but if you need to, just y'all can just stand fast. Y'all too. We're going to go through this.
Line.
Yep, thank you. So yeah. So you're going to communicate, do it over radio if you need to, because got to imagine shit's going down. You're firing, they're firing, explosions. So don't leave anything to chance. Use the radio. So yeah, base of fire, set covering. Once you start move, like before you move, you say, you can even use your last name. Or since you're Alpha, you could say Alpha's moving. Now, once you get to your next set of cover that's in front of us, you're going to get in position, you're going to kneel, aim down the sights, and start engaging. And then you will say, set covering. That's his indication for him to fucking pick up and move. At that point, he can say, lake's moving. Now, for training purposes, I want y'all to run and sprint the entire way. But for practical, you're going to do 3-second sprints, because 3 seconds is roughly the amount of time it takes for a human to accurately engage another human. So you count, 3 seconds, you're up, go right to prone. If you need to, roll left, roll right, so he fucking loses where you're at when you pop back up, and then jump back up and sprint for another 3 seconds and dive back down. That's the prime way to do it when you're under fire and you cannot get to cover that is close to you. But for this training, we're going to just go with bounding here. and I want you to run the entire way to the next set of cover. Y'all copy on that?
Yes, I do.
All right, work together. Let's get to the end of this course here.
So I just say covering, right, Sergeant?
Yep, set covering. Yep, Lake, say, use your last name just so there's no whatever, Lake, set covering.
Lake set covering.
Alpha bounding. Alpha set covering.
Lake bounding. Lake set covering.
Alpha bounding. Alpha set cover.
Lake bounding. Lake set covering.
Alpha bounding. Alpha set covering.
Lake bounding. Lake set covering.
Alpha bounding. Alpha set covering.
Lake bounding. Lake set covering.
Alpha bounding. Alpha set covering.
Lake bounding. Lake set covering.
Alpha bounding. How did he get all the way out there? Alpha set covering.
Lake bounding.
All right,
Lake set covering.
good shit. All right, rally up on me. All right, so you might have noticed that the cover went from being online with each other to becoming staggered and more spaced, correct?
Yes, I do.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Well, there are names for that. When your cover or when you bound online with each other, like you first started, so when you bound up and the next person bounds up and they're online with you, that is successive bounding. That is a slower method, but more secure or safer, or as safe as you can be in a fucking war zone. The other one where it's staggered, where you're bounding just about as twice as the distance as before, is successive. Disregard. That is alternate bounding. That is when one person bounds forward and the next person that bounds will bound past them, covering more space than the person before. So it's like leapfrogging each other. That's faster, covers more distance, but it is less safe because you are out in the open going from one piece of cover to the other piece of cover longer. So what's happening on the battlefield dictates what kind of bounding you need to do. If it's heavy contact and you still need to push forward, you're going to use successive. If it's light contact and you feel like you can overpower the enemy by getting in close on them and overwhelming them, then you can use alternate bounding and get there quicker, but still have some sense of security because you have somebody watching you. So that's one thing you don't want to do is have everybody move at once. You always want to have one team, one fire team, one buddy team, one squad, one whatever, watching the other. You can do this bounding with platoons. You can do it with fucking squads, with fire teams, with fucking buddy teams. So it's universal. But it needs to know what's happening. And it's all through communication. Like I said, communicate, communicate, communicate. Next, we're just going to go over real quick is peeling. You can peel, which is lateral movement. Bounding, we can bound forward, you can bound backwards. So what you just did, imagine you can do it backwards. You can break contact by bounding backwards. Now, if you need to move laterally across the battlefield, you can peel. Now, for an example here, if we wanted to peel to the left, your left, my right, Private Lake would be the first one to go. What is he going to do? Obviously, first peeling left would be called. You know, squad leader, fire team leader would say, all right, we need to peel left. Peeling allows us to still maintain firepower downrange, but it lets us move laterally, left and right. We're choosing to move left. So that's been called. Lake knows he's the last person online on the right. So what he's going to do is take a step back, turn to his left, and he will run down to the very last spot of that line. So if there's 10 guys, including him online, he's going to run all the way down and bypass 9 people to get, you know, the furthest left that he can. Now, when he passes that first person to his left, he's going to call last man, because now that person is the furthest left person, or excuse me, the furthest right person. So he's the last one, because we're peeling left. So the person furthest right, he's the last one. So as soon as he hears that, he's going to count till a good 200, 2, 3 seconds. He's going to get up, turn left, and he's going to sprint down to the end of the line. And he'll do the same thing. He'll call last man to the person to his left. Now that person knows he's the furthest right person. He'll count to about 2 or 3 seconds to give that other person time to get down there. And he'll do the same thing. And you'll keep peeling until you've gone where you need to go. Now you gotta be mindful. You want to take this slow. You don't want to just rush to peeling, because next thing you know, you got 6 people all running down the line, and 3, 4 people covering. That's not good. Not good numbers. So take it slow. Leave about 3 seconds between when you hear last man until when you back up and you start running down the backside of that line. Y'all track on that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. All right. We're going to take those flags over there, gentlemen.
Sergeant Smith.
And we're going to get to the live fire bounding Overwatch course. So what we just did here, bounding forward, you and some other guys are going to do as a team to get from one area to the other area. So let's take this flag, gentlemen. Follow me.
We're on 3 guys against 4 guys.
I thought we only had one. I thought we only had one shooter.
Go to bounding Overwatch course, gentlemen. All right, follow me. All right, privates, kneel down, take a quick 2-minute piss break, beer break, and stand back up when you get back. I'll brief y'all.
Roger.
Roger, Sergeant.
All right. So you're gonna have a full fire team running with you. So it's gonna be 4 y'all total. We have Specialist O'Connell and Specialist Mitchell behind you. These two gentlemen agreed to help with the rest of day 2 here. So to be all 4, y'all need to communicate. Like I said, probably 1,000 times since last Tuesday, but communicate. What the fuck is going on? What you're doing? The object of this course is to utilize bounding tactics that we just went over, or techniques, while utilizing the appropriate firepower and communication to get from where we're standing to the rest of the course, which is going to have 4 colored flags. That is y'all's destination. Everybody's destination, correct. All 4 y'all need to get over there. So battle buddies are going to be Private Lake and Alpha, Specialist Mitchell, Specialist O'Connell. You 2 will be battle buddies.
Copy that, Sergeant.
Y'all on 100.1, so you communicate with these gentlemen here.
Nope. Yes, Sergeant.
Oh, I should have recorded that for the top.
Yeah.
I've got it recorded if you want it.
Nice. So yes, that's what's going on. You will have a mic running with you. You have Sergeant Muller here to patch up any possible holes that you might get. The only person that can reach Sergeant Muller will be Alpha. So you, Private Ringrose, are the only one. You will contact him on SquadNet 100.
Do I just refer to him as Mike?
Yep, Mike, this is Alpha. I need you on my position. I have Rifleman down, Grenadier, my AR, no last names. Copy that?
Yes, Sergeant.
Excellent. All right, so this is your party, Alpha. Get you and you guys from here down to the end of the course. This will be live fire, so lock and load. You're good to go now.
Earplug check.
Good looking out.
Yep, all good.
I'm good.
Specialist Mitchell, please push red. Tango Mike.
We all locked?
Affirm.
Yeah, affirm.
Alpha, this is Mike, radio check, frequency 100, over.
Mike, this is Alpha. Read you loud and clear, 100, over.
Alpha, this is Mike, solid copy, out.
Do one real quick as well. Alpha, this is Rifleman, radio check on frequency 100.1, over.
Rifleman, this is Alpha. Read you loud and clear, 100.1, over.
Copy, out.
Alpha, this is Grenadier, radio check frequency 100.1, over.
Grenadier, this is Alpha. Read you loud and clear, 100.1, over.
Solid copy, out.
Alpha, this is AR, radio check 100.1, over.
AR, this is Alpha. Read you loud and clear, 100.1, over.
Alpha, this is AR, roger, out.
All right. Fucking made me happy right there. All right. You find out what assholes on the hill are doing, and we'll get this shit kicked off.
Are we able to do a quick half-second of recon?
Half second, what?
Of recon? Just jump up on the barriers there to see what we're looking at.
Yep. FHQ, this is Blue 4 and Tree 1, over.
How's it going, Mueller?
Fantastic, Michael.
Trees.
Up 4, this is Blue 4 and Tree 1, over.
Team on the right hand side is probably going to have most of the cover. What?
Top of the hill is about 540 meters, out of range of 40 mics, but we should be in range once we hit the either the last Hescos or that cement barrier right there.
Yeah, those trees over there, they're in range. It's in range from the trees.
And we've got wind coming southwesterly, so we're going to have to chuck our smokes to the right.
That would be ideal.
Yeah, it's pretty strong southwest too.
Yeah.
Meaning all you need is one good throw and it'll cover the whole AO.
Yep.
It's also kind of blown in our face. You might have to throw it a little forward.
Radio check
Right.
on frequency.
Yeah, Rog. Mike, do you have a preference which side you run?
Negative. I'll be running both sides.
Up 4.
Roger, I might get you to start with my team, and I'll get the 2 specialists to start on the left-hand side.
Roger. I'll have to go back and forth depending on casualties.
Yeah, Rog. We'll just cover you when that happens.
A firm.
You guys have anything else you want to bring up?
Copy on that up 4, Blue 4 right over.
Not off the top of my head,
Jesus, you
though
didn't
I
hear that.
would watch out for the, looks like they got a Zeus gun and a couple of emplaced machine guns. Yeah, Zeus is on the far right. MG's kinda on the left in those 2 bunkers. Well, a little bit left to where I pointed.
Yeah, Rog.
Oh, and there's one more in the bunker on the very far right end. It's a little bit back, so it's kind of hard to see.
Well, those dead guys won't get any deader, so...
Indeed.
Just want to wait 80 years.
I'm ready if you guys are.
Aries, Blue 4, city traffic
I'm
over.
ready.
Aries,
Sergeant,
Blue 4, copy over.
Are we clear to step off, Sergeant?
I'll do my best not
wait
to
over.
botch this.
Yeah, wait
It'll
over.
be alright.
Blue 4, this is up 4 on... Oh, reverse that. Correction, up 4 is Blue 4 and
Just
Tree 1.
don't keep your head out too long, you'll be
Set it
alright.
over.
Take a deep breath, keep your head down, and
Up 4, this
run
Blue
like
4,
hell.
have you limit on frequency, True 1 over. 4, this Blue 4, over. Up 4, this Blue 4, ETA on right in this over. Copy that, up 4, this Blue 4, range is hot, Blue 4 out. Alright, range is hot, gentlemen, fucking kick it off.
Thank you, Sergeant. Gentlemen, we're cleared to step off. Can I get the 2 team... I'll refer to specialist as team 1, okay?
Copy that.
Team 2, we'll go right hand side if you guys want to set cover first.
Sounds good.
Sergeant, do you want to run with the specialist for the moment?
Incoming IDF.
Say again?
IDF?
Team 1 set covering. And I'm already hit.
I'm already hit too. Bandaging.
Be advised, Team 1 is bandaging. We took one of those mortars directly.
Roger that.
I believe there's another one coming in.
Oh god.
Now we have to move.
Yep, as soon as we get bandaged.
All right, my legs are set. I
Do
can
your
do the
legs
rest
work?
later.
My legs are good.
I got
Then get
one more.
moving.
And one more. Wow, that my right leg's
Oh,
really
never mind.
set.
Blake, you good?
I
That-
should
What
be.
they say about
Be
ICF,
advised, Team 1's gonna go
we should
ahead
hit the same
and
area.
displace forward. And pop
Want to get a smoke? We want to get a smoke out there.
Smoke out, right? Let it billow. Keep your head down. How's it looking?
I'm not seeing it billow.
It's coming straight back towards us.
We're still open over here.
Okay. Bosh another one out.
There it goes.
Okay.
Still.
I'm blind. I'm blind at the moment over this side.
Go, I got you. Push.
We gonna push?
Oh, I'm in a hell of a lot of pain.
Two's gonna push.
Copy that.
You won, Mitchell.
Thanks.
I mean, Michael. Holy fuck.
Two's gonna continue to bound. We've still got yellow smoke, still plumed.
Copy that.
My way.
Not sure which emplacement I'm getting shot at from. Let us know once you're set.
We set. One move.
Copy that. Looks
Copy
like
that.
fire's coming from towards the center. Down the center.
I'm gonna lob another smoke out. Oh my god! How the hell did that?
Where'd it?
Fuck.
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Smoke out.
Roger, smoke.
You know when it's plumed.
Fuck was that?
Get ready. We'll move around the right-hand side of these HESCOs to the next set in a minute.
Time to move. Let's push up. Team 1's pushing up.
Two covering.
Two
Loading.
set.
One set.
Or one set, yep.
Two bounding.
Mike's got eyes on a mounted machine gun firing the second to last on the left cargo tower.
Reloading.
Reloading. They're set, I believe.
Two set.
Ready to push?
I'm gonna get another yellow out.
Two's
Team 1
bounding,
moving up.
or one's bounding.
Oh, crap me.
Down.
Bandaging.
Can we just get hit?
Yeah, I'm hit, but I'm good.
Okay. Team 1 set.
Two's gonna bound to the house. Move.
Got a mortar incoming.
We got rocks over here right off to the...
Yep. It's all good.
Move to the right of the house. That way we spread out.
Roger.
Two set.
Alright, let's
Smoke
push
out.
up. One's moving.
Go.
Two's gonna pop yellow.
Oh no, I got a man down on my... Oh, he's back.
I'm back up.
They're shooting at him from that house up there. I can't see it because of the trees. Can't give them cover fire. Or the bunker, my bad.
Definitely, it wasn't enough. Yeah.
Yep.
Reloading. One, what's your status?
One's getting into cover. We're pretty badly injured, though.
Rog, have you got the mic on your pos?
Yeah, he's on a
Alpha,
pause.
this is Mike checking in. How you guys doing? Over.
Taking shots.
Mike, this is Alpha. We're green at the moment. We're just taking sporadic fire.
My copy's out.
I'm good. Reloading.
There's one towards the center, center tower. One set.
Rog 2's going to pop smoke.
Copy.
You said they're toward the center?
Get ready to
Looks like
push.
they're still patching up.
They're good. Get ready to push. We're going to go left side up to the rocks just in front of us here.
Alright.
I'm
Alright.
One of you set.
yeah.
Two's about to bound.
Copy that. One set.
Bounding. Bounding.
God damn it, man. What the hell?
OPFOR moving right, just went behind
We got
the
incoming. Ooh.
sandbags, break. Bearing tree 5-6.
I'm gonna have to bird it off.
We could probably. We can keep going, or are we gonna move forward?
Two set, but advised they do have our position dialed in with IDF. Yeah,
Copy that.
push up till you got cover.
We're pushing up time now. As soon as we move, go it. Or as soon as we get set, go. Team 1 set. Go ahead and bound.
Push up to the dirt.
They're lighting us up.
Yeah, let me just get eyes around. But advise green smoke's out. Disregard the colour.
Copy that.
I do have yellow smokes.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get you to throw smokes from here on. Get ready to push to the next set. Two's going to be bounding. Come my side.
Copy that. Yeah, we're down to, or I'm down to green smoke as well.
Two set.
Copy that.
Reloading.
Gotcha, thank you.
Alpha, be advised, Mike down. Okay.
Roger, Mike down.
Is he down?
Actual, this is Alpha.
Yeah, set it up.
I'm taking a lot of fire over here.
Alpha. Actual Alpha, be advised, Mike's currently down.
Copy, working on Mike now. He's just back up.
Roger, Mike's back up. Yep.
Mike's back up.
Yeah, Mike's back up. We're
Just
retreating,
give us a second.
Another guy from Team 2. Actual out.
I need some candy if you don't mind. There you go.
We're not going to bound yet. One's going to bound first.
Thank you.
Alright.
Alpha, this is Team 1.
Do they need a smoke on their location?
Team 1, Alpha send.
Got one towards the center on the left side of the two towers. Team 1's back up, ready to move. Over.
Roger, be advised, I'm going to get smoke popped. What's your current position relative to us? Disregard eyes.
Rear left. Yeah, we're moving. We got IDF coming in.
I gave you a couple smokes in your backpack.
Cheers.
You good? Okay.
Reloading.
We have to move soon. They're trying to zero in on us. We have to move. That
One, are
one's
you
really
set?
close.
One, status. We're going to have to push over to them. Mike, this is Alpha.
Mike. Be
Then-
advised, I got 2 men down at this time. I'm popping smoke and I'm moved to treat.
Roger that. Do you want Alpha to move to you?
That's a negative. I can handle it.
We're just going to have to stick it out here for a second.
They are zeroing in on us with those mortars. They're very close. We're gonna have to move soon.
Yep. Mike, this is Alpha.
Reloading.
Alpha, this is Mike. Send it.
Be advised, Team 2 is going to be having to move. We're getting zeroed in by IDF. We'll only be moving up a little bit, but just to advise you, we are moving.
Mike copies.
You ready? Shit, the wind just changed.
I could throw another one.
No, I think we're good. Push out to the right a bit and get ready to move. Team 2's moving.
Copy.
Our next go is probably going to be those rocks over to 300.
Say again, I didn't hear you.
Our next movement's going to be 300 to the rocks, southwest.
Raj.
Alpha, this is actual over.
Actual Alpha sender.
Sit rep, how you doing over there? Over.
Be advised, we do seem to still have a couple of team members down. Mikey's working on it. We are getting sporadic IDF fire that is creeping close to us. We are trying to move to objective. Over.
Team 1's back up.
Team 1,
Alpha, this is actual copy.
I can chuck smoke when you're ready to bound.
Copy that. Smoke out. Gonna give it a second to bellow.
Two will suppress when you move.
Copy that. Bounding time now.
I just got hit, but I'm good.
I got hit. I need a bandage.
Are you still up so you can move?
I should be fine till we get to the rocks.
Yeah, we'll get the mic to you when we get to the rocks.
One set, by the way.
Two's going to move to the rocks in the centre. Can we get you guys to bound to us after this as well? Auto Rifleman's going to need mic on him.
Copy that. We are to the 7 o'clock of those rocks in the center.
Ah, shit, that.
It'll give us a little bit of fire. Conceal us when we go to move at least.
He wants to come to these rocks in the center.
Two's going to be moving.
Copy.
Ah, shit, that's more open than I thought. That's more open than I thought. Two set.
I'm out of max.
I got more in my backpack.
Don't push too far. I've got additionals on me if you need them.
Right, 2, did you say you're set?
AFM 2 set.
Copy that, we're popping smoke. Yeah. Moving time now.
Mike's got you, honey. Don't you worry.
Died so many times on these rocks. On your right.
Somebody's gonna
Rog.
move. This place is too small.
I'm gonna push up to these gas tanks on this gas tank over here.
One, can you guys move? Can you guys bound while Mike's on?
Diagnosing.
Working on his right leg.
Pushing that beat.
Copy.
Lake, hold
Don't
still.
move.
You're fucked up.
I got his left leg.
Bandaging
Up.
head.
Thank you, Sergeant.
And
One, are you guys good?
left leg again. Oh, nope. Exit out.
Yeah, affirm.
Legs.
Alright, he's all set.
Yep.
Lake, don't kill.
Yeah, Rog, we're just waiting on Mike and then we'll be moving.
You alright, Ringrose?
Yeah, I'm all good. You good, Mike?
Give you some premature morphine.
Oh, jeez.
You love it. Shut up.
Oh, I'm not denying that. What have we got?
Oh, that did not sound good.
Mike?
I say we
What the fuck is that?
we need to push forward.
Yeah.
Up again.
Who in the fuck is carrying orange smoke?
That's O'Connell. It's a mistake.
I still have a couple more smokes on me, Ringrose.
Do you want to get ready to chuck one? One, this is 2. Do you guys
Yeah.
have extra smokes on you?
Negative, rifleman's out of smoke.
Oh shit.
Are you able to chuck one down there? Mike, do you have yellow on you?
Yeah, I still have a yellow. Oh, I got hit. All right, we need to move.
Alright, now we're safe. Nope, almost.
All right. Oh,
Safety
I'm hit.
daddy.
Connell, you good?
Yeah, I got a bandage to my leg.
Ow.
Oh, I'm like all Spider-Man
Hey,
shit.
we need to move, Ringrose.
How do you,
Yep.
How do your legs work?
Can we get smoke popped out to... I need smoke out to the northeast.
Gotta smoke out.
Yeah, let's suppress while we can.
Ringrose, if you want, grab some smokes out of my backpack.
Pushing morphine.
Work on his legs.
Yep. Alright, Lake, once I get your legs up, you gotta move.
Alright.
Your legs are good. Time to move.
Can I get... My legs aren't good.
Alpha, this is 1. We are
Mike?
very seriously pinned in our position. Over.
Mike, my legs aren't good. Mike?
Your legs are not good?
No. And I'm out of...
No, you're right, they're not.
And I'm out of bandages as well.
Stay firm. Bandaging right leg.
One, if you have the ability, try pushing to the flags so that we're not covering your... We're not in your area when we push.
Doing his
Copy
leg
that.
again. Halfway done.
We are completely
And
pinned here at
down
this
to his
gas
leg,
tank.
he's
We
good.
can't move to either side right now.
I can try to give him cover fire.
Alright, your legs are fine. We've got smoke, use it.
We're gonna have to push to you then.
I'd
I'm gonna
recommend
throw
using that
smoke.
smoke before it disappears.
Yep, move.
Mitchell's or Grenadier's down.
Yep. Yep.
I've
I see
got
'em.
bandage on it.
Mike, Alpha, can we get you up here?
Morphine.
We've got one down.
Good.
Pushing epi.
Hey, I'm back up again.
Get ready. We're gonna have to push in 2 teams. Get ready to move to the flags.
This left side is dialed in perfectly. They've got an MG basically focused right here.
I have 1 smoke left.
Can you pop that?
Popping off to the right.
All right, smoke. out.
Team 1, can I get you guys to move first?
I'm bandaged.
Mike?
I'm ready.
Alpha, this is... scratch that. Mike, this is Alpha.
Where's that
All
smoke?
right, we need to move now.
Alpha, this is Mike, send it.
Push.
Go. Let's go, O'Connell.
Let's just go, yeah.
Mike, what's your current status, we've got no eyes on you. Disregard.
To your right.
Push up this way. You're not going to get much cover behind corrugation.
Yeah, I know. Oh, they're both down.
Get ready to push. We're going to have to get them up.
O'Connell down.
Two push.
On him. Okay.
Reloading. Cover. Mike's not quite back yet, guys. Keep covering.
Got more IDF. I'm shooting low into your right.
All
Blake.
right, how forward is
I'm on
blue
the
for
ground
morphine.
next to you.
Alright.
Got it.
Alright.
How's everyone feel?
I'm still in a bit of pain, but
Worse.
We have incoming rounds. We have to keep pushing.
To where?
this is the
objective.
this is the objective.
Ringrose, I'm gonna give you a
Yeah,
bunch of
they're
bandages.
just doing it to
Yeah,
be spiteful,
cheers.
I think.
It's probably for that fucking orange smoke.
Yeah.
Start bandaging yourself.
Actual, this is Alpha.
Yes, sir.
I'm a sergeant.
Send it Alpha over.
Giving you
Yes, sir.
bandages. Start
Disregard.
bandaging yourself.
Send your traffic Alpha over.
Actual, this is Alpha. Be advised, we're currently at the objective. Over.
Copy. Condition 4, rally up on myself and Sergeant Smith
Thank
and
you.
Sergeant McCoy over.
All units, condition for your weapons. Rally up on the flags.
Copy.
Oh, Canal, I just gave you a bunch of bandages.
Cool, take him out.
A couple of you have lost a lot of blood.
That's probably the understatement of a century.
Thank you again.
Wow, you are really not stopping leaking, are you? Locke. That's a bummer.
I'm surprised I'm still walking.
Yeah, I'm still up. That's all that matters.
Until you pass out from blood loss.
Might be a second there, Sergeant.
Yep.
Surprised you can even
Right
lift
now.
that M249.
I,
I've
Had some
some
pretty
words.
sure that's an entire MASH unit worth of bandages on the ground.
Yeah.
Alright, Locke.
And I'm still mostly yellow on all things.
Bandages.
Alright, after
Oh,
you boys
gosh.
are done doing medical, come over here so I could make sure that you guys are fully okay in terms of medical wise. Oh, medical case.
It's time for Super Mike to heal you.
Okay.
Good, my fingers are getting tired.
Condition for your weapons.
Okay. Can everyone hear us?
Yes, Sergeant.
Yeah, first sword.
Okay. Then everyone have fun.
Yes, Sergeant.
Okay. Did it feel very stressing within 30 minutes?
Yes,
Y'all
I
know
did.
30
Not
minutes,
really.
like a little longer?
Honestly, felt like 10 minutes. Or
Okay. Alright, before I go my little spiel, I'm gonna hand it off to Sergeant Marjan as acting actual for him to go over where he wants to go over. So floor is yours, Sergeant.
Thank you. All right. Not bad. Not bad at all, gentlemen. This is probably one of the best or better Overwatches that I've seen, or overbounding Overwatch that I've seen in a while now. Communication was pretty well. Movement was quick. Got bogged down a couple of times, but that was due to injuries. And even though you had injuries, I heard that the other team wanted to move to a better location So fucking kudos on that. It's gonna happen. You're gonna get stagnant. It's just your job to keep it moving. I really don't have anything. I really don't. Fucking, you knew when your guys were down. You were in constant contact with the mic, with wounded, and I'm pretty pleased. So that's all I have, Sergeant. Thank you.
I think so, Mark. You got something, McCoy?
Thanks, sir. So yeah, I'm going to agree that was pretty well executed. I am going to nitpick on a couple things though, just because that's what this is about. As ARs, we're not here to hold your hands and give you a kiss on the cheek. We're here to tell you how you can improve. But that being said, the first thing is, so your smoke usage was good. There was a couple times where it wasn't effectively placed. Remember on day one we talked about the wind speed indicator. Make sure you're using that. The wind's pretty strong right now, so I kind of fucked you over a little bit. A couple times where you decently placed smoke, but there were some gaps in your concealment, and we were able to engage you while you're running. A couple times, guys, we're running out in the open without any concealment, so that's a no-go. Popping out from the same spot multiple times. It wasn't that bad, but there were a couple times where I saw someone peeking the same corner, peeking the same spot. And you don't do that. Definitely the enemy, if they engage you once in that area, they know you're there. They're waiting for you to pop out again. So that's just asking to get shot. Also, if you see someone else go down in your team and then peek the same corner that they just peeked and got down, that's essentially the same thing. So make sure that you're keeping your situational awareness about that. Also, utilizing cover effectively. Most of the time is really good. There are only a couple instances where people are exposing more than half of their body outside of cover, and that makes you an easy fucking target. So make sure you're utilizing all the tools at our disposal. Sorry to break immersion, but particularly the ACE advanced stances. Just make sure that you're being aware of your positioning and utilization of cover. And as far as comms go, the command and control of the fire team felt pretty good. I didn't hear a lot of contact reports being called up. I heard a couple on TeamNet. So just make sure that I'd say just more communication overall. Like in an active firefight, there should be no radio silence at all. Everyone should be actively communicating and working together, but I think overall it's a pretty good job. Just couple little notes for you guys to take and work on, but that's all I got. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, McCoy. Sir, Bowl, anything you have in terms of medical-wise or in a medical standpoint or outside of that?
Nothing medically. PV1's Lock A and Ring Rose. You guys will be able to carry more bandages after OSUT, so you won't have to bother me so much when you get injured. Nothing else medically other than that. There were people who were running out of ammunition, which is frankly unacceptable for 30 minutes. Operations last 2 hours plus. Running out of 10 mags or more is kind of excessive for this. Aside from that, there was the orange smoke. That was weird, and that's why we got mortars.
No, that was the mortars. Sir McCoy, go ahead. Your last comment?
Thanks, Sergeant. So yeah, I just wanted to touch one more thing on smoke. So you guys used a lot of smoke, which is good. However, there is a line between using, because some of it was used ineffectively, you guys burned through your smoke real quick and were forced to resort to other signal colors that are not meant for concealment, which is fine. It happens, but in a course like this, for this short a time, this short a distance, you got to make sure that you're utilizing your equipment effectively, because once you're out of smokes, there's a definitely over 50% chance, more like 75%, that you're not going to get a resupply before you absolutely need it again. So just be mindful of how much equipment you have in your loadouts. Especially fire team leaders, you got to know what is at your disposal within your team and make sure you're employing that effectively. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. All right, so I'm gonna go over with the comments and gallery after my little spiel. But just remind you guys, though, like we said before, this is an AAR, not here to hurt you, but to help you. Criticism is the best way to improve a soldier to put him on the path of being a perfect soldier. So, not take it to the highest, I would say, but take it as a learning experience and a moment for you to improve your guys or improve yourself when you're feeling for squad training so that you can be ready for day 4. Now, yes, this was within 30 minutes or less. Yes, you went through a field of 400 meters, making your way towards the flag. Yes, it did seem like it was a lot. You did probably burn out a whole bunch of ammo, medical supplies, along with any other additional equipment and smokes. This is a time where you adjust, not just, but address all of these things that happen to you so that you could fix it. Sergeant McCoy says, when I'm touching on the smoke portion there, Sergeant McCoy and I were stuck at a dead zone where everyone was behind cover. We were getting engaged from positions that we don't even know where we were being engaged from, which was a good thing. So we had to relocate to a different spot and wait. And smoke was popped, and we ignored it. You know, that's the point where us as people on top of the hill, we're not supposed to focus on around smoke. Then we noticed smoke was popped at their most worst location, and we were looking at directions where we expect people not to come from, which people actually came from, and we lit 2 people the hell out. Made them go down in the middle of the field. You guys be mindful of, like Sergeant McCoy said, the windage of the smoke and how fast the wind is traveling so that you can know where the smoke will be lifted towards. Don't pop the smoke, then move, because the smoke ain't doing nothing for you but concealing behind you, not in front of you. So be mindful of that before running out there, guys, because you're going to get yourself shot right there in the middle of the field and have to have friendlies come get you back up. Let's make sure that we are attentive of how close the spread is with us. Always be nice with the mortars. Completely nice. All I did was just put a spread in a semicircle around you guys to keep up attention because it was only mostly Sergeant McCoy shooting the whole time. So I put more attention with the mortars, keep you guys keep moving. Should have done that, but then it made you guys move quicker. But be mindful that if there's mortars coming towards you guys, then make sure that you are aware to never put you guys closely to each other. Because what happens when the mortar round gets placed right behind you guys, everyone goes down except for 2 guys out of 4 guys who could actually communicate to Mike and actually tell him, hey, we got guys down. So be mindful of your spacing, but also be mindful of that you're not too far apart from each other as well to the point where you guys can't see each other's eyes length. If you guys are spread out 200 meters apart, I will one day put mortars between you guys to the point where the team in front of you is down or team behind you is down. I'm going to put a wall of mortars down so I can have a team of OPFOR go grab you guys, retrieve you, and take you out. Now, I won't actually do that, but I could actually do that. Because that can happen in an actual battlefield. Where they have spotted you, the Sparta sees you guys far apart. He knows that there's a team down. He could put a wall of smoke and put mortars in that smoke. And then bring you guys to retrieving that fire team. So, take this time as a moment of us 2 up there. We did have invincibility, so when you guys shot us, of course, we didn't go down. But we relocated as if we shot us and another target appeared himself in another position. But when you get into day 4, it won't be like that. You're going to go against 4 squads against you, measly 1 squad against 1 firefight, and you have another squad come attack you from another flank while you're getting engaged from your front. And then you got mortars engaging you, and then you got grenade rounds engaging you. So be mindful of that, guys, and use that in your battlefield. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because there's nothing I got to say on the way you guys, in terms of how you did. So I'm not saying you guys did good, because I don't want to say that word and you guys get too overconfident during day 4, but be mindful of those things so that you guys don't mess up on it when it does happen. All right, open up the floor. Start O'Connell. Start Mr. You guys anything? Start Specialist O'Connell. Specialist Mr. You guys anything?
Negative, Sword.
Negative, Sergeant, but thanks for the promotion.
That's a lot of time. All right, perhaps you guys had anything for close? Any questions?
Thank you for joining us.
Don't say I'm sorry for doing this. We understand it's a mistake everybody makes. I make that mistake as well.
Thank you for helping us out, gentlemen.
All right. With all that said, day 2 will begin on Tuesday. Now, what to do within your next 4 days? Friday, Saturdays. Yeah, what you do in the next 4 days. Fill up as much squad trainings as you can as possible. So there's one on Friday, 3 squad trainings. 2 happen at the same time, and there's one a little hour after one of them starts. So you do have enough time. The time they start at 2000 Eastern. Now they ask for fill-ins 30 minutes before. So you want to be on 30 minutes before to get in those squad trainings, to get as much experience as possible you want to get. Now on Sunday, there will be a whole bunch of squad trainings. The first starts at 15:30 Eastern. That's we're having 4 starts their first squad training. So if you want to fill in for more to see how that goes out and plays out, then be on around 15:15 Eastern, so you can get those spots to fill in for. Now, if you guys want to go through OSUT, complete it quickly, and be able to get to build it within next week, then by all means, do yourself a favor and attend day 3 and day 4 this Saturday and Sunday at 1300 Eastern. Now, if you're going to do so, you need to let Sergeant Margiata and I know so we can know who we were expecting. Did they get any guys during day 1?
Negative.
All right, disregard. So I'll see you guys Tuesday and Thursday. It won't be none this Saturday and Sunday. Disregard. You guys have any questions for us in relation to that?
Negative, Sergeant.
All right. You guys on Tuesday, class attention. Class dismissed. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening and the rest of your weekend, as weekends usually start on Thursday night. Be safe, can't be safe, be careful.
Thank you, sir.
Keep up the good work, gentlemen.
Thanks, Sergeants.
Thanks,
Thank
Sergeant
you,
Muller.
O'Connell and Michael, for showing up.
Oh yeah. Thank you for patching us up there, Sergeant Muller.
You, Larry.
You fuckers.
Hey, Special Connell and Special Mitchell. I hope you guys know that the mortar rounds that went after you guys was not intentional, even though I did have some paybacks needed to square out, but it was going down at the same time.
It wasn't intentional.
Yeah, it wasn't intentional, you know.
Actually, you
Just
got
ran
pass
towards
on
the
that,
wrong
Sergeant,
place at the
'cause I
wrong
actually
time.
thought it was Sergeant McCoy.
But Mortar's my spotter. I pretended him as my spotter, so it is his fault.
Yeah.
Figured as much.
He's always good in this trouble.
If you guys didn't notice, whenever we had your position locked down, that's when I start going in mortars, because then you guys won't peek and shoot at us, so I'll go in mortars and start putting rounds down. And keep saying our position's fixed, but the mortars going at the same spot they were going at before. I'm like, okay, well, you guess mortars are fixed on a position next to you, but not on you yet.
It's a safe assumption to assume that they got you locked in. You better move anyway. So
yeah,
absolutely.
And orange smoke.
was that called up, by the way?
That was.
No. But the mortars weren't sent for that orange smoke, and that was red smoke. Then all y'all would have been dead from those mortar rounds.
Yeah.
It was just a script I sent out for the mortar teams to send like 5 rounds out, points I designated, without having to keep repeating it over and over again. Class is over, so the word repeat, it's okay for me.
Well, it's also in the context of mortars, so it's acceptable.
Yeah.
Yep. You guys know you're
That's the
dismissed,
only
right?
proper way
Yeah.
to use the R1.
Just hanging out.
The only reason why I can't kick you guys out is there's already a crew training in right now.
Class going
So,
on.
Roller, can you